Side in a pretty big way. It was the NASDAQ that led once again. We're seeing continued strength not only from big tech names, but semiconductor names specifically, and even the storage side of things getting a boost this morning as well. We'll talk about WDC up better part of 4% heading into the new week. We'll get a bunch of economic data, notable economic data coming up this week, including a preliminary look at GDP. We'll get PCE later on Friday morning, I believe it is, for PCE. And we'll also get, Netflix and Tesla earnings coming through as well. So lots to get to this week as we look to extend this gain. It's Monday, January 22nd, 2024. Tradertv.live starts now. Yeah, the gains continue here, as we saw there with the NASDAQ set to gap higher for the fourth day in a row. Tech stocks across the board lifting this market right through not only Wednesday last week, but Thursday, Friday, and into the weekend now. Here we go again. Yeah, as I was mentioning, it's not only the semiconductors looking really good to kick things off this week, but also some of the storage names. I was just reading this note on, look at Western Digital. Set to gap. We're up here right now on Western Digital this morning. There it is. 57 coming into play. Morgan Stanley moving it to its top picks list. People going to need some more storage devices, I guess, to store AI bots on, apparently, or I mean, along with semiconductors. Just this group entirely so impressive going into the weekend last week and now again here this morning. Let's talk about a few things to kick things off. Boeing back to the downside, possibly more problems here with a different plane. They're going to check it anyways, which I guess is a good thing from a safety standpoint, but the 737-900 ER specifically under watch now. Yeah, Brendo, the Federal Aviation Administration basically coming out with that decree, and they're going to inspect those planes after a thorough inspection anyway by Alaska Airlines. Found that some bolts were not fastened correctly, Brendo, so we'll have to see how that affects Boeing. Chinese EVs and EVs in general continue to be under watch, Brendo. Down goes Li, NIO, and XPEV, and then Rivian as well, and the group there also down. So lots to talk about, and as you said, we got a lot of economic data coming up at the end of the week. Yeah, lots to look forward to. More Fed speak to come this week as well. Tesla, one of the only ones kind of hanging on here. About 0.5% to the upside this morning ahead of earnings coming up later in the week. As we said, could be a wait and see type of a few days here for Tesla. Lots to discuss this morning. It was a fantastic weekend. How was your weekend? Good? Really good. Yeah, I played soccer. Good. Sean is back after a long weekend as well. Good morning, guys.
Yes, yes, the best.
With the fam, as usual.
The best.
But Friday was a little bit nuts. Like, it was completely, oh, I adjust my mic so it's like straighter. There you go. But SMCI, first of all, everything was crazy.
I saw that, yeah.
SMCI was complete and utter, like, just mind-blowing nonsense.
Any big winners?
The question is whether we get to 500. I didn't trade SMCI. I was trading a couple other chip names. It is what it is.
Were there anything there?
I mean, everything was good. You couldn't lose. Like, well, okay, you could have lost depending on.
Is your mic on, or people are still saying mic?
Mine's on. It's on.
Okay.
This is the mic check. No, it wasn't that difficult to trade in terms of finding longs, but there was nothing that was like SMCI. And realistically, that should have been the one, no questions asked. It might have a shot at 5.
We might as well. They can't hear you at all. Yeah, they can't hear you at all. All right, we'll fix the mic. Maybe off and on. I don't know. Battery mute. Neil's mic is off. Okay, we're working on it, guys. It's going to be a monster. Look, this is kicking off earnings season, so this is what we're all about, guys. Bitcoin right now breaking back down below 41,000, and here we go. So we're getting ready to rock and roll. It's going to be a big weekend. We'll talk a big week. We'll talk a little bit about football. We'll talk a little bit about like Neil was just mentioning there, some of these semis, SMCI. Intel coming on Thursday. Thank you so much, Joshua. I appreciate that. And everybody else out there. Be patient with us. We have extra mics. I mean, the worst case scenario is you just grab Adara's, for right now until she starts speaking.
Just let me know what to do.
Ramin will figure it out.
It's like on and off. They can kind of hear it. But you guys let us know.
They're hearing you through my mic.
That makes sense.
Yeah. All right.
All right, well, we'll give Ramina's solo today, so we'll give her a few minutes here to try and resolve this mic issue. Yeah, a couple of things to consider this morning as we get going here. As Sean was mentioning, Bitcoin back downside. Tesla holding on to a slight gain, as I said, ahead of earnings coming up later in the week. I wanted to talk about these yields because it was not only a very, very strong end of the week for tech stocks specifically, but we had 4 days in a row straight higher for the 10-year, the 30-year. I mean, even the shorter term 2-year I saw was up going into the weekend as well. So it's the first day in about 5 or so that we're seeing a bit of a pullback for yields and interest rates, which is helping obviously the overall equity market argument here going into a new week. The dollar not really doing much here this morning, but very interesting ahead of what's to come later in the week with more inflation data.
Absolutely, Brendo. Ramin, if we're able to go to my screen, I'd like to show the 2-year here if we can. We got down to almost a 4.075% last week, Brendo. But like you said, multiple green days in a row, 5 green days in a row here for the 2-year as it bounced off that 4%, got back into 4.3. Not as strong of a week for the 10-year, Brendo, as we bounced off that 3.95, got back into 4.11. Super interesting because it's not typical that you see yields and equities move in the same directions. And if you saw Thursday and Friday last week, we were awfully strong on these markets. We got the PCE coming up on Friday. We have a preliminary GDP coming out on Thursday. So this definitely, those 2 data points are going to affect yields.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see the longer term. I mean, typically shorter term yields are going to be more volatile than longer term yields, but the 10-year and the 30-year on a pullback today. So that's helping the overall argument here. As we were mentioning, not only are semiconductors back to the upside today, but I wanted to point this out for anyone just joining. Some of the storage side of things when you get into tech, starting to see a little bit of a lift here as well. I mean, this is a $10 move just in 5-6 days here for Western Digital. If you missed it this morning, again, Morgan Stanley, it's way up here. So this was Friday, so we're way up here this morning at 57.80 right now. Morgan Stanley moving WDC to its quote-unquote top picks list. And that's right next door to NVDA currently. So a nice positive note suggesting that, yeah, more storage strength to come as well.
Yeah, Brendo, and increasing the price target to $73 and an overweight rating. I didn't have an opportunity to read Morgan Stanley's little comment on Western Digital, but Brendo and I theorizing off camera that it could probably have something to do with the data center expansion and the required space for the new AI software.
Yeah, pretty impressive, guys. I mean, I'm missing a little bit of data here on this chart, but still 5+% here for WDC.
WDC. Hey, I haven't even.
Yeah, that makes sense. Good deal.
I didn't even look at WDC yet here today. But let's just have a quick look at the chart, and we'll have a.
That's the chart.
Yeah, that's the chart. It's nicely done up to the upside right here. $54.56. I mean, here it goes. You get added to these lists. I mean, obviously it's a big thing. I think someone got removed from it, and it just kept on ripping that one day. But yeah, nice move to the upside here. And if there's going to be a name that's sometimes forgotten about, I mean, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days broke out. How good of a trade was that right there, breaking through 53.50? That was sick. That was a couple days ago. Missed that opportunity. Whenever you're breaking out on dailies like that, that's fantastic. So Western Digital continues to work there. I would say you buy any kind of a dip on this name. It's not on the sticky note, which I'm working on, but maybe back into here. I mean, the upgrade happened. We sort of hung around 56, 56.50. So 56, 56.50 for this one would be a dip buy opportunity. We'll definitely look at it, but probably not going to do a lot of volume. Let's wait to see what happens with WDC. But again, it's that 53 break right there. We want to look for opportunities like that. So if there's any stocks that you guys are seeing that look something in and around, a break on a daily. That's what's been super, super hot fire now. And remember when Coinbase was up at 180 and I was like, this is probably a 130 name, something like that. I mean, look at Coinbase, man, down to 123, absolutely huge. And then Affirm, again, a couple people talked about cashing out there in around $40. We want to still try to short this name despite the market ripping upside. So yeah, man, WDC, a big day there. And I'm going to work on this sticky note for everybody.
What I love about that WDC, let me know if This is actually working. I want to get that thumbs up. You guys can hear me. But look at the weekly chart. If we can jump over here, it's when I want something which is what I love about this, and the PayPal's probably a better breakout today. That's where I'm going, and I know I'm going to be looking at ARM as well, but there's a lot to watch. What I like here is you've got a big, obvious trend reversal. Like the stock was in the weekly chart, you've got that downward trend, lower highs, all that good stuff. And then finally, you break the 50, you just closed and consolidated above the 200-period moving average and then broke out on Friday. So this continuation on the weekly chart has room to $63. It's at 58. So I think I agree you got to look for some dip buys. This is exactly the kind of thing where when the market's at these highs and continuing to press, you look for things that are joining the party that were not there before. That's exactly what you get here with a Western Digital. Like it's just now joining the party, and it's got some serious room to run to the upside. So I think that's worth a watch. Look, there's going to be a lot to look at today. You can't go in this market. Like on Friday, I said like 3 times on Friday, oh, the only regrets are like what could have been better. Like the reason to look at SMCI wasn't because you couldn't have made money in every other chip name. It was just that SMCI ended up being better that day. So I think when you're parsing through ideas, it's not that you should disregard anything, but you've got to pick your poison. Like I prefer PayPal because I traded it before. But Western Digital sets up really nicely, especially, in the context of this weekly chart, which looks absolutely gorgeous if it can hold above this 55, 56 area.
Let's talk about a couple things here. I was just seeing Microsoft just popped up there in front of me, but not really doing anything. Digital World Acquisition Corporation, a lot of people mentioning this one along with all the other Trump-related stocks this morning. Ron DeSantis ending his presidential campaign last night, endorsing Trump, so it seems to be just a formality at this point, I guess, that he will get the nomination, but a huge gap higher here to 29.50 once again after, that happened last week for DWAC.
Strong week last week for DWAC, Brendo. The volume remains a little suspicious. Not enough volume to be sizing in as much. We'll see if that continues this week or whether we get some volume. But yeah, look, New Hampshire tomorrow. Donald Trump widely expected to beat Nikki Haley. She was a little closer in that race than in others. We'll have to wait and see what we get. But it looks as if we're going to continue to run here and here. I still don't understand what the point of this. The run-up in the stock is. He's using his Instagram. He's using his Twitter. He's not posting on Truth Social. What's the point of all this? We'll have to wait and see.
Figure that out. Let me know. Nice look for TWAC again, guys.
DWAC, yeah. I mean, it looks like nobody wants to stand in front of Donald Trump, and unfortunately, everybody. I feel like we knew that already. DeSantis now backing out with his sort of like concession speech there. I feel like he might wind up trying to become vice president. I don't know if that can even be a possibility at all. But I mean, DWAC just continues to make a move higher here. Politics aside, this name. You can't put politics aside. I mean, the more talk you're going to get with Trump and who's going to represent the Republican Party, this name just goes. It's kind of just like a proxy for the vote. I mean, I feel like once Nikki Haley backs out and he's given the nomination, this stock maybe it comes down a little bit. Like I don't. It's the same reason that Sharif and Brendan were just talking about. What is the purpose of this? SPAC. I mean, it hasn't even de-SPAC'd yet. So I don't, and when it does, you're going to see sub $10 on this, right? I mean, it is crazy to make those kind of calls, but trust me when I tell you, until they can find out utility for this name and what exactly it's going to do, I feel like there's some downside pushes here about to happen. So I would just say be careful with it. It's, yeah. After what? Throw to them? Yeah, I know you don't have a mic, so I think we can get you Adara's mic, but I think she's working on that one. So we'll see what happens here with this name. But I think it's a sell. For me, I think it's a sell the news situation where you're going to have, it's all this hype, and then when you look underneath the covers here on DWAC, I just don't know. We talk about buying companies for reasons behind the company, like more macro reasons. And so I just look at this and say, hey, it's been a beautiful run. And another name that you could have fun with is fun. What is fun up today, actually? PHUN. You don't have a
I
mic,
want to
so.
talk about fun, but I can't.
Yeah, so don't worry about it. 28 cents up here, nice move for Funware as well. I mean, it's up that 11%. So if you're looking for something that might be a little cheaper to trade than a DWAC, where you could find some levels that you just punch out on if there's anything working, what about 26 right there for Funware? So I feel like you can get long now, almost immediately, and then just play off this 26. You know, who knows what's going to happen when real volume kicks in. It's 8:45, it's Michael Noss time.
Mr. Noss here coming up in a second. Michael Noss, check your email. You need to give me access to your file this morning before we can discuss what you would like to. There's a couple of little ones moving around here. You were just mentioning this SGMT. A few people talking about that one as well. Tons of volume already this morning on a big move as well. There's this NVDA. I was just writing a positive note on that, but you have the story there for that SGMT.
Yeah, it's something that I like to see, Brendo. These noble causes. Fatty liver disease drug shows promise in mid-stage trial. We're talking about SGMT. Sagimit Biosciences on Monday said its experimental drug helped it significantly reduce the symptoms of fatty liver disease in a mid-stage study. Here is the look at the chart right now. We knocked on the door of that 13. A lot of topping tail candles into 13. Looks like shorts are instituting their positions around there. We're back at 12 1/3, Brendo.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Again, there's a couple of smaller float type names moving around this morning. As mentioned, let's bring in Michael Noss here this morning and get a look at what he is checking out to start the brand new week. The market only goes up apparently, so we'll. Is he good to go here, Ramin? There he is. Happy Monday. How are you? I was expecting, you know, the tan, the sun-kissed look. Michael Noss in Florida last week. How was that?
That was great. It was only slightly warmer than here, which was weird.
That's disappointing. That's disappointing.
In our lingo, it was like 10 degrees down there.
Okay.
I think it was too bad, but no, I don't tan. I'm either pale white or deep red.
All right, let's. Oh, I think we're having some audio issues here once again. Let me know, guys, if you can. Is he good? Are they still? Just come back to me. Just stand by, Michael. We'll get that resolved, and come back to him. It was, I guess it was Tuesday last week. We were talking a little bit about. Maybe it was Wednesday. We were talking a little bit about inflation in the sense. It was after we touched on Frank and some of the data points that we got last week coming out ahead of what's to come this week. PCE coming up on Friday. We get GDP again, just a preliminary look. Going into next week again, the Fed on the last day of the month. We also get all of big tech essentially reporting next week, Wednesday and Thursday. Specifically. So a lot to look forward to here. But that being said, we've seen this type of setup before where there's maybe one or two kind of secondary data points ahead of a big week and it ends up being a little bit quiet as the market anticipates what's to come. So yeah, we'll see what happens here this week, but good look for Monday.
Well, GDP from last month got revised up, guys, from 4.9% to 5.1%. So the economy's chugging along a bit stronger than what we anticipated. So that's number one. Number two, Tesla reports on Wednesday. We saw what happened last time with Elon Musk on the earnings call, basically outright saying that interest rates are hurting demand for his electric vehicles. So we're going to have to wait and see whether the higher rate environment is still continuing to hurt Tesla. We saw price reductions in Germany, Brendo, and China last week. So we'll see if, the margins continue to get constrained from lack of demand. So lots to answer. And then, obviously the biggest one, PCE, right? The Fed's preferred measure of inflation that comes up on Friday as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it wasn't necessarily a small one either. When it comes to the Berlin number, we saw about 5,000 in a reduction coming off of Model Y specifically. They were talking about the Model 3 and higher priced models as well. But it's worth noting that the production coming out of that factory definitely on the lower end on the grand scale of things for Tesla. But a lot of people are going to be watching that margin number once again coming up this week for earnings.
And it's not a good look for Tesla with respect to the Berlin Gigafactory, because we know they're having trouble getting their products shipped through the Red Sea, through the Suez Canal. Way less traffic going through that particular canal. I can just tell you that, having followed Middle Eastern news myself, it's really affecting Egypt's. Egypt really relies on tariffs going through the Suez Canal, and that's really affected them there. So I can just tell you the channel traffic, Brendo, a lot less. We'll have to wait and see whether this affects Tesla's forward look for all of Q1.
Yeah, it was a rough, no pun intended. It was a rough week last week for Tesla. Basically, what was it? 3 of 5 days red when all is said and done. We're just holding on to positive territory here, but basically break even at this point, guys. I mean, a little bit of wait and see, I guess, heading into the earnings report this week.
There she is. All right. Yeah, look, we talked a lot about Tesla there. I hope everyone was able to catch the podcast, episode 10 out with Brendo and I right here. Come over to the screen and we'll show that off right here. All right, it's gonna be a rough one. There it is, right there. There's the podcast. We had a great show there. Go check it out on Spotify, on YouTube. Talked all about Tesla and what we thought. A little bit of their of EV space. It's been a really sad day for EVs. A little, I think they can get a bump off. I don't even know what Rivian's all about perfectly well. I really like Tesla down here at 210. So any kind of a dip buy opportunity, it is on the sticky note. The sticky note should be out. I don't know if I sent it, but I think it might be out. 210, 211, nice little base there for Tesla. I like the stock down here. Earnings January 24th, so we got a couple more days to go. This is going to kick it off on Wednesday, and then we'll go from there. But whenever you're seeing so many of these stocks right now are so primed for earnings. Like, you want to buy AMD at the top, you want to buy NVIDIA at the top, Meta, Microsoft, Apple, all these names. This might be the one that, if there's any juice behind it, we can really rip faces off on Tesla. So I would say watch out for that. But I have some good news. It's Mr. Michael Noss, and the Magic Mike has been fixed.
Take 2. Hi, Mr. Noss.
Round 2. How's it going?
Can people hear Michael Noss? Throw up a yes if you can in the chat, and we'll continue our conversation. We're good. Okay, let's get into what we're looking at this week, because it's going to be a pretty important week here, as I was just alluding to, heading into the Fed next week, and then some more key data coming up later in the week. We're at a very interesting spot here, obviously just taking out all-time highs basically every day at this point. What are you looking at this week?
Yeah, so it had been, I guess I was muted for you guys, but what I'd mentioned, it's been so long since I chatted with you guys, and I felt like I missed you. And, every holiday in the last 2 months has been on a Monday, and then Friday I was traveling. So I figured we'd take a step back and look at some weekly charts and get a good sense of what's going on, because while I was away, I heard, oh, we're new all-time highs and we're super extended in the market. But when you take a little bit of a dive under the hood, that's not actually the case. So I wanted to go through some sector charts and some different market caps and everything like that. So the first chart I have is the S&P 500. As we know, this is a weekly chart. That blue line I'm always drawing at the old all-time highs for all the charts that I have. As we know, nice break and a solid close on the weekly chart through that all-time high. It's kind of exactly what you want to see if you're bullish and you want to see in the market. And the next chart I have is the semiconductors. And as we know, this is what's leading the charge. That blue line was the same prior bear market high that I had before, and we've been through that for a while, and we've broken through it. However, so chart number 3 here is where things get interesting. This is the RSP. So for those who haven't heard my rant on this before, the S&P 500 is what's called cap weighted, which means the biggest companies have the biggest effect on the index. So, Apple, Google, NVIDIA, all of these things are going to move the market way more. The RSP has the exact same 500 names, but it is split into equal weightings. So every company has an equal weight to it. I don't think one is right. I don't think one is wrong. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to have the biggest companies having the most effect on an index the way some people do. But this and the other charts I have after this should give us a little better perception of what the average company is doing, right? We have the RSP, we still have that same blue line. And if you look at the last week's candle, it was a hammer candle, so it closed strong, but it's not even over the highs from 4 or 5 weeks ago, right? We've actually been pulling back where the market has been breaking out. Again, if you take all the companies and you remove the big guys who are doing really well because they're large cap tech, if you remove those, we're still kind of stuck in this range and we're a little bit from all-time highs. The next chart I have is the IWM. This is the 2,000 smallest companies in the market. So these are up to $2 billion companies. They're little guys, but they're kind of representative of your ma and pa style companies. Not only are we not near all-time highs, we're still 20% drawdown from those prior highs. So technically, if you looked at it, IWM or small caps still in a bear market. Nice hammer candle yesterday, but I still want to note that we are down over the last month when it comes to these small caps. And this last one I think is kind of the most interesting. I don't see people talk about this index very much, but it's something that I wanted to point out. It is the Russell 3000. So this is the 3,000 largest companies out there. So generally this will cover your large caps, it will cover your mid caps, and then some of your small caps. And if you look at the 3,000 companies, that covers around 96% of the available universe. And this is cap weighted as well. So those big companies are going to make a big deal with it. You can see still not at all-time highs. Now, what do we do with this information? Does this mean that, we should short everything because all of these are still down? What I will say is that in bear markets, we expect the laggards to pull down the leaders eventually. In bull markets, we expect the leaders to pull up the laggards eventually. Now, I'm still in the camp where I think we have some chop going on because I've shown you there's a lot of these companies that are still under this overhead resistance point. However, when people say, hey, it's overextended, I can't believe people are buying stocks here, you got to remember that most stocks haven't even got going, let alone hit new all-time highs. So I really think that there's a big opportunity coming, and this is what I'm going to be doing. And when I'm on with Sean there, maybe I'll have some names for you of what do I think could be pulled up by this leadership if this leadership remains. Now, just quickly, and I know you can see the same thing under me right here, but we are having our tournament and we're doing some practice rounds this morning if you signed up. And it's the Go Low tournament, so it's long only, which will be interesting because we noticed a lot of the people were making money short, so we decided for fun to take that away from them. So check it out, check the QR code there. If you're already a premium Trade Ideas subscriber, you're already entered. So just come to our website and we'll show you how to get involved. $2,400 Amazon gift card, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Definitely take advantage of that opportunity. Definitely take advantage of maybe some opportunities to come in other parts of the market that we haven't seen actually moving around for the past few weeks, as Michael was saying. Back with Sean after the close tonight. Make sure you are joining them at 4 p.m. Possibly some ideas to come. Great stuff, Michael Noss. Have a great day.
Awesome. Talk to you then. Have a good one.
Thank you, Michael, and this should be working out. See, go low, only go long, so check out that tournament. I guess that means no one's going to be going into those crappy EV names to trade.
Maybe.
Well, you can YOLO. That's the thing. It's actually YOLO to maybe pick some of those types of names and something like that. But hey, it just provides a little bit of an extra challenge in some ways. But in a bull market, things have been looking fantastic. I like that look with the Russell 3000, though. Like, you have so many things creeping into big levels. And why not have a look at some of those indices? Like, you want to see these, not laggards, but the things that haven't broken the highs, the things that have a chance to then go. It's all well and good. We see these things, things like Microsoft going absolutely nuts. But sometimes you can find those other types of names that have not made those big presses yet. You can get a big win. That said, we were talking about Tesla just there. Tesla, this is a bit different from the other EV names because obviously, it is trying to hold some pretty darn key levels, and it did one job on Friday at that 08 level and actually managed to close around those highs. If it can hold, this 212 has been like this weird linchpin for the last 3 days. If it can hold on to 212 at the open, I think the sky would be the limit because it has yet to have a rip your face off day and then sustain it for more than, half a day. Like we've had some big moves to the upside off the open, but then it just cannot seem to hold through. We're actually gapping above the previous close to something we haven't seen in a while, holding a bit of a gain here on Tesla. Other EV names, not so much.
Yeah, no, that's what we were just finished talking about right here with Tesla and everything today. And remember, it's January 24th. We are getting closer and closer to, major earnings season coming through right now. I feel like all the eyes, though, like Tupac, all eyes on me. AMD, NVDA, Intel, like these stocks are still just absolute, like pump houses, man. Just like almost at all-time highs again for AMD, and then NVIDIA right here looking at $6. Like, it's just, it's amazing. I feel like it was just last week. Oh, wait, it was that we were at 500 and breaking that. Now you're at 600. Like, 500 was, oh my God, we're at $500. Now you're 20% higher than that on NVIDIA, and it's still trucking along. And then you have names like Coinbase. Like, it is a little overwhelming, which is why I think you got to get the watches.tradertv.live. You got to listen to guys like Michael Noss and try to figure out what your time frame is going to be on certain trades. And you just got to do all of that to the best of your abilities and try to find the best opportunities. I actually have a couple of hidden plays on the sticky note as well. One of them is going to be Disney, which I think has a good chance as well if you can get up to that $94 mark. We'll have to wait to see. It has dropped down. I know there's going to be a lot of traders that don't really, it's more like 95, 96 there, but I wanted to see Disney coming through, and I know they say go woke and go broke, and that might be what happened to Disney here, but it's a nice move up, and I feel like there's some coiling up on Disney at the bottom side of this trade as well. It's down today, which is not a great sign. And just want to say a big thanks to Ramin, obviously, here, who's got your mic fixed. We got Michael Noss fixed up, and I mean, it's hard. I mean, that board by itself, I can't even. I look over there, and I'm like, I have no idea what's
it's like a scene out of Star Trek. Like if you watch that board, it's just there's blinking lights and buttons everywhere.
Yeah, it might be easier than Star Trek. Star Trek might be easier.
Well, nobody knows what they do. Like
we need AI on the board.
What's always been weird to me is like I understand, like I get it why they did it back in the day. It was just a bunch of like blinking lights because they didn't know what to do in the '60s when they're making that kind of stuff on TV. But nowadays, when we actually have like some sense that things get more simple,
they actually get harder,
complex. Like you shouldn't like a spaceship in the future should have almost like no buttons. Like look what a Tesla. Look at how simple it is. There shouldn't be that many buttons.
So there shouldn't be doors flying off planes as well, or
really not. But there is something flying right now, and it's Rumble. Rumble, young man, Rumble.
Canada.
Why are we hitting the fail button for that? Yeah, we should hit the here we go.
I think he's hitting fail for the Boeing, I think.
Failed for the Boeing. Rumble on a decent amount of volume relative to its normal volume. This is actually starting to get going, and just another, you get DWAC moving, you get Funware moving, you get Rumble starting to go as well. If this can actually hold on to the $4 level and sustain some volume, it would look a little more interesting. But there's been a lot of low float runners, small cap runners lately. You guys know all about Funware and DWAC. This seems like it's the latest one to go.
It's did you mention the news on Rumble? There is.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it's Barstool Sports. Partnership will provide Rumble users with access to all Barstool Sports content on the platform. So, I mean, you can get Barstool. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube and stuff like that. But it's nice that they're getting it on a different platform because you never want all your eggs in one basket. Wait a second, we're only streaming on YouTube. Maybe we should reach out to Rumble, man. Let's get a deal. I'm just organized. I just realized I have about 500 sticky notes just piling in here on my desk. So I'm just going to try to clean it up so we can have a little bit more of a cleaner work environment.
What's interesting I noticed, and this is, my daughter and I have this discussion about pen and pencil all the time.
Yeah.
You use pen only on the sticky note.
Yeah, and I use different ones. Like this one is like a Uniball one.
Well, I've noticed that the quality of pen on this is, I like that.
That's this pen. Yeah, it's not a ballpoint pen. It's like more of like a.
But if you use
calligraphy,
if you use pencil when you're making sort of notes, it's easier to go back.
Oh, erase
it, and then go back and.
Yeah. No. You know what the pen does though? It also it stamps it, right? So like I can't go back and say, oh my God, this is like. I meant to say this or meant to say that. But
I always tell my daughter to use more pencil when she.
Yes, I think pencil is good.
Pencil, you have the eraser. Then when you're doing rough drafts, you can go back and forth, especially when she's practicing math and all that stuff. Anyways,
I wonder if our kids are going to be writing things very, very, very long.
no, they're not.
But it's good for the hand-eye coordination and all that kind of stuff.
It builds coordination. It's good for learning. It's good for learning language and thinking and all that kind of stuff, and helps memory. Blah 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 blah. But nobody writes.
Yeah, blah, 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 memory.
What memory? Huh?
Huh? What? Oh,
What are we talking about?
did the Packers win? I can't remember. All right, back over there to the desk.
No
and Sharif and Brendo.
I wonder if this podcast is going to end up being a part of that. But you were saying, what was it,
1.6 billion downloads the Barstool podcast has last year. Guys.
Like possibly 1.6 billion downloads going to Rumble.
Yeah.
On that, I mean, that podcast is. Shout out to Davey Day Trader. Yeah. Anyways, interesting. We'll keep an eye on RUM. Let's have a look at the overall market here. We're late. Let's go. Futures time with Sharif.
48.69, guys. That's where we closed out on Friday on the ES. The overnight high, a lot higher than that, 48.90. Overnight low, 48.72. Let's go ahead and say that the support area is going to be this breakout area that we were looking at for multiple weeks. It's at 48 and a third, 48.39, 48.40. That's if we really get to the downside. To the high side, guys, we're awfully close to that 4,900 all-time highs.
Semiconductors, top of the list this morning, as they should be once again. If you haven't done so, watchlist.tradertv.live will get you there. Scan that QR code. All you need is an email address, and you can have that every single day. It's absolutely free, so why not? A lot to get to here, so let's get going. I was just reading through this. Kind of interesting. This is just pointing back to 2023. China with a 14% increase in imports of chip-making machines. Wait a minute. I thought they weren't allowed to... especially from the U.S., but anyways, reaching nearly 40 billion despite general decline of 5.5 billion. So, I mean, they're obviously putting significant effort towards, establishing some sort of, presence in this game as well.
Perhaps before the restrictions get even tighter, they're already having trouble importing the ultraviolet lithography machine from the Netherlands because that government is siding with the United States and it's not allowing ASML to export that. So we'll have to wait and see what China's going to do. We know that NVIDIA has designed chips specifically for export to China, and they've done so a number of times. The A800 was supposed to be an export chip for China, and then that got added to the banned list as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, interesting note that you said there, 14% increase in chips and chip manufacturing equipment, but a 5.5% decrease in overall importing, Brendo.
Yeah, and this partially why NVIDIA is still making up 90% or 7 billion worth of China's AI market.
It's a ridiculous number, but look, if ASML was a more tradable stock, I'd probably be looking at that today for a breakout. No questions asked. So there's two problems with ASML. One, it's a $700 stock. Two, its primary listing is over in Europe, which does mean at 11:30 the volume goes to the downside. But look at this. Like everything is breaking to the upside and making fresh highs. We talked about SMCI. I got a couple that I love today. One of them, if you were watching last week, I've liked ARM for the last couple of days in here, and now you're finally breaking that double top. It didn't take very long for it to get into the 60s and then get right back up the top and break it out. So that 79 top from Friday, you've essentially gapped above it. Well, that's an 80 breakout. Dip by back into this like 78.5 where we closed. If it holds on to that, I think you look for the long. Underneath 78, all bets are off for this name. But I do think that 80 break is a decent shot at the open. We got 20 minutes to go. I mean, right now it's sort of trading at 79.30, so it's definitely close enough. I also like Intel. That was a rocket ship on Friday. All of these charts were ridiculous. Like you couldn't have gone wrong with the chip long. It's just that, SMCI was on a different level, and I got to keep saying it because it was so true. So this local high on Intel, 48.75. This is the one where it's got such an obvious, there's your first peak after we pull back off 50, there's your second peak, and then the pre-market low. So this one looks real good at that 48.75. It holds on to that level, looking for longs in front of it. If that breaks, then 48 stands out. And I think you got room to 50 today. On Intel. So you got to pick, you always have to pick your poison, where you want to go, what you want to trade in the space. There weren't wrong answers on Friday. So as long as you got one or two of these long, you were going to have a good day. But that SMCI, it's now so far high flying too, and at the open the spreads were ridiculous. Like if you punched in, you could have been out of the money $5 just by punching into that stock. So it's not a stock that I would trade at the open, but if you get it right, I mean, congratulations. Maybe better with options.
Yeah, or Broadcom also kicking it. Wow, just unbelievable. Microsoft I have up here at $4 right now as that continues to just boom to the upside. I think the company with the biggest moat around them probably is Microsoft at this point. And just because of what businesses they're all in with Azure, and then of course Copilot really leading the way in the AI boom. And then you have here Apple. So I bought some on Thursday morning, market on open order. I got long at 186. So that rate now, 186 is in the money rate, and this is for the long term. So I'm just adding to the position here. But I really like Apple as well. I mean, another market for Apple to perform well in. You're above the 50-period moving average down here at 190. I really, really like this name as well. If we can get some sort of a dip buy opportunity. Fortunately, our charts aren't behaving that great here with some of these down pool or dark pool wicks to the downside. But I like Apple down here at 190, 190-ish if we can get it. The only other name that I have that we're not going to talk about on here is really Palantir. I bought some shares as well. This was all on Thursday. I bought Tesla 209. We talked about this on the show Thursday afternoon. Tesla 209, Palantir 1640, Apple 186. There was another name in there. I'll try to remember what it was, or maybe there wasn't. Anyways, I really like Palantir again, man. I mean, a nice little bump up there over the last couple of days. I mean, look at the rocket ship that this kind of was there starting in the noon hour on Friday. Bottoms out at that 16.70, then just goes up $1, almost to $17 right there in a straight line. So watch out here for, I mean, not really a straight line, but look at the 50-period moving average really being held here on Palantir. So I want to watch out for 17. If we get a pullback into this area, that's where we'll be most concerned, 1670, 1675. But I really like this name. Again, not too much earnings related here for Palantir, but remember, they're going to hit their 5th straight quarter of EBITDA profit, which means that they will get added to the S&P 500. Their earnings is February 5th. So if if history tells us what should happen here, I feel like we should get back up to $19 or $20, $21. So I really like Palantir on any dip buy opportunities. I did it in my own account. It's up to you to do it, but it has been a nice run so far. This market could still fall up or fall down. I mean, it's really, really appreciating here over the last little.
Slip right there.
Yeah, it's fall up. They could fall up. Yeah, they could foul up. I don't know. Look, last quarter on AMD's earnings, AMD's missed 4 quarters in a row. Yeah. Last quarter, they went from $97 down to $94.
Actually, we're talking about this several times. The way this market is running, it feels as if you get the earnings from all the big names, which you're going to talk about AI, and then that's going to pump up the chip names even some more. And then at the end of the earnings cycle, you get NVIDIA. Mm-hmm. So by the time you get to NVIDIA, all you will have heard about are all these fantastic numbers and all that, the big spend that's going to be going on. It's turning into a big sell event for them. What makes it worse for them is that because they're at the end, all the good news will have come in by the time they report. At least if you're in the middle or the early part of the cycle, there's a few things that can give you a bump after. But February 21st can't come soon enough for NVIDIA. It looks like a bit of a turnaround.
Look, Ramin, I found this. I cleaned up our sticky note, and I found another magnet for our mic.
Was it just under the note?
Yeah.
Oh,
okay. I was like, I've lost this thing, and she's like, don't tell anybody we have extras. And then now I'm telling the world.
Yeah. Well, how many do we have? Because I lost one the other day.
They came with, you lost one the other day?
No,
Maybe this is yours.
No.
Oh, okay, it's mine then.
Well, I took one from up there that I assumed was mine, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah. All right. Are we any closer there, Brenda, with the afternoon stream? Some people asking. Midday stream?
It's like, wait, what? Afternoon stream? Very, in fact, more to come on that. Midday stream number 2 coming up, so stand by on that. Just be aware, guys, CNBC is talking about Apple and the Vision Pro pre-orders, and they had it pegged around 180,000. Remember, pre-orders started on Friday. They had it pegged around 180,000. And if you remember the last time we heard from Apple on production, they were talking about 80,000 units being made of the Vision Pro in the first go-around. So if that's the case, then pre-orders way higher than they were expecting so far for the Vision Pro. The rundown brought to you by TradeLog this week. Guess what? It's a new year. That means it's tax season. Boo. TradeLog empowers traders with tools and education to take control of your taxes. Learn how you can get started for free and save 20%. Yeah, it sucks to do taxes, but save 20% on your subscription at tradelog.com/tradertv. Go check out our friends at TradeLog. Let's talk about Boeing here as well, because as we mentioned, if you're with us right off the bat, they're going to extend these inspections to other models, which I guess is a good thing from a safety standpoint right across the board, but could cause more delays.
Yeah, not just the 737 MAX 9 anymore, Brendo. The other variant, one of the other variants of the 737, the 900ER, going to be inspected thoroughly for loose bolts, maybe doors that are ajar, hint, hint. I got to tell you, it's been a tough year for Boeing so far, already down 18%. We haven't even closed out the end of the month, so eyes on Boeing.
Yeah, and there are, unlike the, I was reading this morning, 777 MAX 9, which had this issue, there was none of those in Canada in use. There are definitely some of these 737-900ER jets in use in Canada.
The door is ajar. What's crazy, my mom growing up actually had the old Chrysler LeBaron that was the one that actually talked. So if you left your door open, you didn't have a stupid light, it actually would tell you the door is ajar. And I remember as a little kid, I'm like, ajar? No, it's not. It's a door. And I had no idea. And then she finally explained it to me. She thought it was just jokes, laughing at it all the time. But Boeing, let's let the price action dictate. This has actually made a really good bounce. And it held on to the 200 level pretty well. I think today is all about, are we closing above or below the 200 period, and that 215 number, that's going to be the key. So you rallied all the way to 215. You're backing off it a little bit. I understand that more inspections can be viewed as a bad thing, but if this is breaking out Friday's high, there's room to 220. It's that simple. And I think you just look at that 215 back and forth. It's the clear number to work off of. I don't think you fight the trend in either direction. If it fails 215, you could easily be back at 200 if you break the 215 top. When Friday's high was a little bit higher than that, just by a few shekels, I think you've got room at least to the 220 level on Boeing. As always, if you're looking at that, it's worth a look at SPR, just because it tends to give really good percentage moves. I feel pretty good about, given the fact that this is a little bit weaker and not really moving around as much on the day. If it were to fail, if Boeing were to fail, any kind of a pop to the upside, this does have a 28 on it, which would give you some areas for some shorts. Not a lot of pre-market volume on Spirit. So my first look is Boeing and the over-under at the 215 level. But if it does get going to the upside and there's a curl, Spirit's got some short opportunities on it. Not save SPR.
Yeah, so last week I was talking all about buying Save. And it was down there at $6. We talked about that. You got saved if you did do that, because it was down near 4. Or no, maybe 4 was the ultimate bottom there. But yeah. I was talking about buying this, and I said that, hey, on this kind of a move down, I think this is worth buying. If you did, congratulations on that one. And then, of course, if you watch the podcast, we had our biggest week yet on the podcast. So I want to thank everybody for that. But if you come over here, it's on Apple Podcast, Spotify, all of that kind of stuff. Go find it right here. Brendo and I talked a whole bunch of funny. This is actually funny. This is when we talked about Netflix and Tesla right there. But go find it. It's a podcast. It's a lot different than what Neil and I are doing right now on the show. But it's been a lot of fun. Go check it out. And I actually, on said podcast, I was mentioning why not go ahead and buy some Boeing, and I really liked it because of the levels that we were at there. We were at $200. Brendan asked me for a trade idea, so again, check it out. I actually gave another great idea that I think could really work at the end of the podcast in the retail space, but go check this out. Down here, $200. I feel like this is worth the risk. You buy this thing at 200, all right, and then if it breaks back down below and you take down 175, then you get out. That's a 10% haircut. I feel like that's well worth it, man. You don't get many opportunities to buy a monopolistic company that dips down like this 20%. So that's a great opportunity to buy it down there. I don't think you missed it. You may want to wait for it to have another move down in case this market corrects. But I really like Boeing down there. Go find it. YouTube, just type in podcast, Trader TV Live, you'll find it. When does Boeing report? So next week. So you're probably going to miss the boat, man. Let's wait to see. If you're interested in it now, I would say pick some up. You're at the 200 period moving average. I'm already in this name. I like the name, and I feel like the risk to reward, if you want to talk about it, I really think it's great down here at 2 bills. Buy it. You've already seen it bounce. Pause any more dramatic negative news. I don't think we take down this 175. So, tech names are booming. This name should be, and I feel like it will at one point again. So watch out for Boeing down here. I think it's a can't miss buy.
All right, let's go to Bitcoin here, or crypto anyways, across the board. We were talking earlier, Sharif and I, about ARK. So yeah, Kathy Wood was in there buying up her own Bitcoin ETF last week to the tune of 44 million, putting it in the main ARK ETF, so the ARK B ETF, picking up more than 1 million shares. At the same time, she was selling the strategy ETF, the BITO, which a lot of these, I was reading at the end of last week, might be in trouble because if you remember, those were the first round of Bitcoin-related ETFs that were tied to futures.
Yep.
So the price action was tied directly to futures. So a lot of money coming out of those going into the actual ETFs here. So yeah, that made up the better part of the buying, I would say, for ARK's ETF last week.
Yeah, last week was also, very characteristic of inflows and deciding what's going to be the leader here in these ETFs. We saw BlackRock really take the cake second by Fidelity, and the biggest outflows was sadly at a GBTC, who actually started this whole thing by winning their lawsuit against the SEC last summer. So sad to see that happen, but that's what the market is, Brendo. Bitcoin again down today about 2.6%, really trying to hold on to 40,000 at the moment.
Yeah, and we were making the point at the end of last week in the sense that they got it wrong with fees, I think, on this grayscale product. Whether or not they'll adjust that remains to be seen. But yeah, a lot of selling, grayscale, buying the rest.
Yeah, as you mentioned the last thing though there, Bitcoin trying to hang on to the 40,000. I think the test of that's pretty much incoming. You bounced once off 43 and 300. Now you're bouncing off 40,500 as we speak. A couple of names worth watching. Well, at least, you know what? I think it might be a Coinbase day, to be honest with you. 125, 127. Those are the 2 key levels of resistance on Thursday and Friday, and I don't want to look too far away from those today. If you're going to hang on and break those out, fair enough. I wouldn't fight anything short on Coinbase above 127 until you got at least another $8, $9 to the upside. But the stairs have been working to the downside on this name. I'm not thinking you get to the 200 period moving average anytime soon. That's a bit away. But if you look at any kind of a stair step down, establish a resistance level, and it's in the midst of picking which one is going to be big, whether it's 125 or 127. Short the pop situation until proven otherwise here on Coinbase. A lot of times I'd be looking at Mara, but I just feel as if it's a little bit more defined there on Coinbase. You can look at the 16 level and the 16.5 look pretty solid on Mara. Just feel as if Coinbase has a little bit more room to run to the downside than Mara, which is getting really close to a big area of support.
Look, I've talked about Coinbase for a very, very long time and how short I'd want to be on this name. And I mean, we were short here, we were short here, we were short here. And if you're short now, congratulations. When this was at 180, I said 130. Now it's down to 120. And the reason why we picked 130 was I thought that there could be some support there. Thought wrong. I mean, Bitcoin's right here at 40,700. And if you think about the difference there, we've already seen this move happen. It's been a big win for anybody. So I would say fail for anybody long, and Coinbase continues to work to the downside. And yeah, short rate here, 125-ish, I think is what you're going to be looking for. So we'll wait to see if that comes through. But again, on the daily, that looks pretty juicy to me. Right there, 124, 125, and then even give it to 126. The problem with Coinbase is that it's pretty tricky. Like once it will open up, the spread will be there. We only have 5 minutes left to go. Coinbase a trade, but not a strong one for me.
All right, let's go to China here. Downside again today. It was the worst day for Chinese stocks in the Asian session since back in 2022 to start off the new week. As Frank has been telling us over the past couple of weeks, still just straight downside right across the board for their economy and the market over there as well. Interesting note, I mean, all of these ADRs are down along with what happened in the Asian session, but interesting note on Alibaba here as well.
Yeah, remember when we couldn't figure out what's going on with BABA on Friday? Was it Friday or Thursday?
Yeah, I mean, they all ran up mid-session.
I figured later it was a bared upgrade actually for Alibaba, specific to Alibaba, not PDD or JD or any of the other ones. The other ones, I believe, were running up in sympathy. But let's talk a little bit about these Chinese EVs, the Li Autos, the XPEGs, the NIOs, because they're all absolutely getting crushed on the year. Here's why. The Chinese Vice Minister for Industry and Information, Brendo, basically came out in a rant against overproduction, what he calls overproduction of electric vehicles, saying the overcapacity of electric vehicle makers, noting that Beijing will take forceful measures to prevent superfluous projects. So the new models coming out from some of these guys, they may not make it to market. So tough look here for China's EV sector.
Trade though, guys, possible today?
Well, on the EV names, like you got to pick your poison, I think. But Alibaba, NIO's on watch for me as well. But BABA bounced off 67 in a big way, and then had that late day rally, as both Brendan and Sharif were mentioning. You get back underneath 67 on Alibaba, and you're talking about breaking some serious bottoms here, like 60. I think you had to go 66 half, but it's pretty nasty to the downside. You start talking about, you got to go way back and you find a 63 level. So there's a lot of room if we fail this 67 here at the open on Alibaba. Maybe a bump up to 68 for a fade. If it breaks out from Thursday's close, there's just a lot of room to the upside. So I think you got to be very patient with this one. Either it takes out that low and continues to go, or you got to be very patient trying to fade this, because it was a big rally point right from here. And then NIO, ever since it broke that 7, remember how often we're talking about that $7 level? Hey, look at your flat bottom break. Look at how nasty it is. You're underneath $6. The level I got marked here is just 610. It's not rocket science. Bottom at 610, bottom at 610, and then you ended up on Friday with resistance at 610 and then closing underneath it. So I'm shorting NIO to 610. If it breaks out 610, that's probably worth a reversal, because when a level is that big, I almost like playing it in both directions. The Chinese EV names are so badly beaten up. Like, you think this chart looks bad, then you look at the XPeng chart and it's not much better. But the $6.10 level, it's random, but it's significant here on NIO.
I don't even want to hear anybody talking about Chinese equities and like they're losing money on them. We talked about this forever. Don't invest in China as it just keeps on going to the downside. We talked about it on the main show or the recap show over and over again about this FXI breaking that $25 level. It's been getting absolutely clobbered since breaking that, and downside, downside, downside. So there goes FXI. Charlie Munger, for some reason, liked Alibaba. We get that upgrade that Sharif mentioned there on Friday. I wasn't here for it, but now that they're this low, maybe there's some value in some of these names, right? So let's just see that $68 level right there is where the party got started on Friday. So let's see if we can do that again. If we're going to go long something, I think we wait for 68, but I am trying to dip by near that 67, then lower and lower and lower down into 66. I think it recovers at some point today. I just don't know how far we are going to go. We still have DWAC coming up here, but look at this, man. Palantir, like, damn, Palantir, come on, man. Like, you can't wait for me to get in. We're smoking right now. We bought this name at 1640 on Thursday. So this has been a nice trade long on Palantir. I hope you guys maybe made that trade as well. But there it goes. Beautiful. You could have got better on Friday, man. But anyways, nice move to the upside here. We'll wait to see if Palantir pulls back. I just my bid's been at 1680, but that's when we were here at 1710. And now we are at 1740. So we may have to put something a little lower here on PLTR in and around $17, man. I'm glad we put this one on the sticky note. I just don't know if it was worth getting in earlier. Well, it was, but that's a pretty risky trade there. Let's continue to watch Palantir, now bidding near 17. All
right, DWAC, bottom of the list there, 11% here this morning, holding on to 29.25 for dear life right now, looking like it might want to break back downside. Not much to discuss, as we mentioned earlier. If you missed it, Ron DeSantis ending his presidential campaign last night ahead of New Hampshire primary coming up this week.
Yeah, New Hampshire tomorrow. Donald Trump widely expected to win that one as well. With the only other opponent left, which is Nikki Haley, we'll have to see how that all ends up tomorrow and whether that moves DWAC and Funware, the sympathy play for DWAC, to the upside. Also today running is Rumble. RUM is the ticker on news that they will get the Barstool Sports podcast and other videos there, Brendo.
Yeah, that's huge for Rumble down on Richmond Street here in Toronto. I was just checking for, I mean, it depends on where you look. I've seen a whole bunch of different numbers as far as short percent for DWAC, anything from 15% up through 25, even 30%. So take your pick. There's a short percent, but yeah, we're 5 seconds away. Let's go to Adair. That kind of snuck out.
Yeah,
50
holy cow.
and absolutely ripping right now is Palantir. We're going to have to watch out for Alibaba making moves higher as well. But you're now rocking with the best. So thank you so much for joining us. You know, keep the hope alive today, man. If you hadn't made money, maybe you will today. The market's been blasting a little bit here, up to 17.5 right now, taking out VWAP as we go. Look at Alibaba. Nice little dip down. Now we'll see if it wants to go a little bit higher right here. As the market's going, Palantir looking at 17.50 as well.
Yeah, Coinbase actually making a bit of a move into that 125 we were mentioning. Oh, there was the dip potentially in Intel we're looking for. Let's see if I can pick up some 18s. And don't forget Microsoft 400. Now, Microsoft broke 400, the pre-market multiple times. So it's not like it hasn't been here. But that's obviously a big level. It's trying to hold it. It's actually running out of steam as we speak. But 400 level on Microsoft, something we should have mentioned, starting to go.
All right, we're already into one right now. Let's see what happens with Disney. Wow, look at Palantir. It's just absolutely ripping. Disney right here, a small little 15-cent winner to come in with already. So that's a good way to start the day here on Diz. Did I say that much? No, we make a little bit more than that on Disney. Let's go. We got to get up into the 60s if we can get it. We'll hold out to see if it breaks through $92, and that's where we'll get out of our Disney. But we're screaming higher right now. There it is, a quick little money maker right there, 30, 40 cents now in the money on Disney as it's continuously going up, up, and away as Mickey Mouse barking today. Look at Alibaba. We're going to go 2 for 2, man. We're back. Holiday or not, the market doesn't change for this guy. We'll see right now. Bang, there it is again with Alibaba. Let's go. We pick up that bottom right now. 50 cents in the money on Disney. We're starting it off early here, Neil. 10 cents, 15 cents, 20 cents now for Alibaba. The fun is just started.
Fun is definitely starting. The market is heading to the upside now pretty cleanly. I was able to get a break on Intel, but did not catch that dip buy. Already going to scalp some of it out. We wanted this at 48.75, so got the clean even dollar break on size, and then it came up to that 15, 20 level, had a bit of a turnaround. I'm going to go for the dip on the rest. ARM did not break out the top, so we'll be patient. Is actually headed to the downside before going up. So that the $8 breakout not happening just yet. But I think we're about to see something. Oh, Fisker, sorry guys. Fisker made a huge pump to the upside. There was some news about a potential partner that they have. If they get to $1, you know how I feel about the dollar trade. It's a fade first time through on any kind of a dollar press on Fisker. That's up 15%. That happened right before the opening bell. Coinbase is at 125 as well.
Ooh, that might be a good short. Guys, we're going to have back-to-back Dollar Club winners in our first 2 trades here. Let's just see if that can happen, and we'll try to make it happen right now. We are on Disney, and the only way to make it happen is by waiting for something to happen. So we're going to wait to see if Disney can get going as well right now. But look at Alibaba. I still think we can get 67.50, so that would be the dollar there. So but there goes Disney. Look at this, breaking through $94. This is the trade that we gave you. It's right here, right now. So there goes Disney. Nice little move to the upside, breaking through 94. We're lucky enough to get that bid at 93.35, breaking the pre-market high. And yeah, we did it again right there. So I just hope you guys are enjoying yourself and you have some of these trades on as Neil and I have sort of broken them down for you. I'm waiting for PayPal to get going as well. There it is, man. Look at this. Look at Baba, 75 cents. Did I say 67.50? 67.50 going once, going twice. Sold with another one right there. So let's go. There's another one, back-to-back jacks. Hey, we come in here, we sit down, we've got Disney 80 cents in the money. We've got Baba 80 cents in the money. The party's just beginning, man. It's glad to be back.
All right, here we go, guys. It's Fisker time. I know it's against the grain. This is a trade that has worked many times off that $1 level, so I just got some 98. It just tagged 98 exactly. This is a situation where when you take that trade, I'm not holding it past. If it breaks, you just get out. Do not worry. Don't press go. There you go. Once it breaks, you just get out of the trade and don't even worry about it. I would reverse a lot of times on that trade, but I want to see this one calm down and find a bit of a bid above the $1 level. Also, Coinbase blew through 125 and is now chilling out at the 127 level. So we said 125 or 127, do not hold, all that kind of good stuff. Wait around for it to get to that 127. It is here right now, so we're looking for the short if it makes a bit of a curl. I want to see the sellers come in first and then potentially join, but you've got to be patient when it comes to going against that grain. Microsoft failed 500 as well, 400 as well.
Ooh, man. There's Disney. Disney with an early dollar club right there, so we'll take that. We should have, we should have punched longer at $94. We were just so happy with the results here that we didn't. So that was a mistake for sure. They're not getting more long on Disney as we talked about getting longer on Disney. Let's just see what happens. Alibaba. Okay, still not let this one work out. We're gonna go 2 for 2 in monsters here today so far, by the way. So, and they're both on here. And here's another one that's on here as well. We have Palantir, Disney, PayPal. Look at Palantir, $18. I'm just really happy that we were able to get some love into that name last week. So that was good. I mean, we are some Jordan Love action. Okay, there goes Alibaba. Again, 90 cents. Really, really like this one. We're nicely in the money on this. We'll see if it can hold. Let's go over to another idea that we had, Tesla, and see what that's doing. Okay, so Tesla, 210 long. Tesla bottom. 210, 210.10. So missed $3 move on that one. We'll get it back, guys. Tesla, that's my bad. Looking at too many. Okay, there it is, man. Baba, now $1 in the money. Disney, now $1 in the money. I can't apologize for 2 back-to-back jacks. We're in 2 positions, and they're both dollar winners, but that Tesla miss sucks to not have been down there at 210. Let's go revisit that trade.
Yeah, always going to revisit the trades, but just coming right back, I said I would not reverse Fisker. I'm going to give the $1 level a second shot. I usually go 3 strikes, you're out when it comes to a level like this. Back in, once it broke, I took 98 halves. Going to give it right back into that local top as well. I'm looking to add if I see any sellers that join back into this party. And we're going to go to the desk with Adara and come back. I want to mention PayPal on a huge dip.
Sorry about that. A firm on watch here, one of the payment stocks definitely to keep an eye on, up 9%. On Friday, a Mizuho analyst named this one of the top payment picks of 2024. Not seeing any current news on this one right now, but really strong look for AFRM, guys.
40, that's a little bit frosty. So just quickly here, PayPal, which is still up 2%, dumped at the open. I liked 66 or previous close. I was at 22s. I can tell you that missed by 5 cents. So you got to move on to the next. I want to look for a dip buy off of those lows. PayPal's breaking out on the daily charts. Want to be able to respect that. AMD, we talked about some of the other chip names. AMD headed to the downside. Intel couldn't hold on either. ARM did not hold on. SMCI is a bit of a different story. I guess this stock does want the 500 level after all. So SMCI breaking out. A lot of the other chip names kind of came back through.
All right, so we did short a firm, and this could be a problem here. We're just going to give it up to that 46.50 area there. If it breaks higher than that, then we can be out of here on a firm. So we will start the short party on that one. Again, we missed Disney. My bad. I thought we had got something there in the 20s. We did not. Disney needs to pull back just a little bit here. So we'll start it. We told you our favorite stock of all time is a firm. So not of all time, I don't know. We'll wait to see if that gets going or not here for a firm. So it's a stock that I'm excited to trade once again right now, and that's going to be a short. Now we're at $1.20 in the money on Alibaba, which was a pretty easy trade there. It's that whole PayPal trade sucks because Neil's like, it dipped. I was like, what? I'm not long. And I was at 66.25. So hopefully that'll come back into those levels, the same ones that both of us are looking at. And there it is, man. We did it again. We'll go 3 for 3. I don't know. I mean, there's a firm. Downside push. So we shorted it. Wow. Okay. I mean, what are we supposed to do? I mean, there we go. Let's see if a firm wants to fall down even more, baby. This is going to be a good trade. We're now 30 cents, but it's bouncing around. So be very, very careful with this. That sucks that we did miss the high there for Disney because I did have an offer there in the 20s, but we did miss it. So so far, not so good on that miss, but we're having a great time here today, and I hope you guys are too.
Yes, sir. And speaking of pops that just came in, NEO just came to the $6 level. I like 610. If it goes to 604, I'm going to start in on the way in the back end here. Just grabbed 01s. I will add to this. 610 is the key price that we're paying closer attention to. But as long as it's above 6, that's definitely tight enough to get in. ARM was so close to taking out the top just now. I just canceled my breakout order on ARM. I had an 80 breakout. It got up to 79.94 and is pulled back underneath $79. So the breakout on ARM is going to have to wait until it can hold the even dollar at 79. Bit of a disappointment. That was starting to fly, and I looked at SMCI and really thought that was going to get a chance to go as well. So we'll get back over to NIO, which was the new position alert. Once it's underneath, I guess, at 95, start taking some out, and then look to reload this trade. I think this is worth multiple shots up here. The news on the Chinese EVs has not been good for a while. Oh, and Apple 195 already? What? Okay.
Boom.
Obviously, we had those issues with the mics, and there's a lot of things we didn't get a chance to talk about. Apple 195 should have been one of those things. Got to wait for an available dip here. Apple already on the break. I'm not chasing a move up on Apple up at 194 if I think 195 can be a turn zone. But some things haven't changed from last week, this being one of them.
Yeah, man. Apple, like I was saying, man, we bought some at 186 on open there on Friday. I mean, that was, on Thursday. We weren't here on Friday. That was a gift, needless to say, but we'll wait to see what happens here. Okay, we've got more shares on the best stock around. It's on Affirm, baby, like I told you. We're not, did you trade Affirm on Friday? I love Affirm every single day.
Affirm only went up yet.
Yeah, it's only going up now, but you got to play a little bit of pullbacks here. Affirm's nice today, man. It's up 9%. But it doesn't matter, man. When trades bill out, we'll try to hit them here. So let's just wait to see. We could still lose on this trade. I just have a lot of fun trading it. So we're out a little bit there on Affirm. We'll see what's going on with that one. I feel a little bit bad about, I don't feel horrible, but we did miss that Disney top there. We ran that to the top side. We're going to see what happens on that right now. Disney. I am also bidding some more on Tesla, but I wonder if this move is we just sort of sat here and watched it. Let's just wait to see what happens on that. Up to 215, back down to 210. We did like the 210 area, but we didn't have a bid down there, which is my bad on that one. So we'll have to wait to see what's happening with Tesla. And then Palantir. Wow, Palantir, man, that's another one. Long at 1640 over the last little while here. And this was my call. Again, if you're watching the podcast, I hope you guys are. We talked about this one, buying this one down here as well as a good idea for a longer term account. Watch out. Here comes Affirm right now. Like I said, man, huge moves abound in this name as it's just going to the upside. Now, don't be too cautioned about it. We do have earnings coming up, I believe, for Affirm on Feb 8th. That's not it, so that's not good. That's a long ways away, so we're okay. And then it was the 18% short float that causes names like this to go up 9-10%. And then, of course, everybody, I think this is going to blast up higher. Everybody worried about PayPal. They have some AI announcements coming through there today, and it just dropped in again. I guess we can't wait for that 60, whatever it was, 66.50 or 66.75. There looks like the bottom. I was waiting at 66.25. Here goes Affirm, by the way. So from a dub to an L, that was real quick, man. There goes Affirm. Nice upside move.
Yeah, I just got a reload in the NEO short. NEO popped 95s and then right back up to 6. Size on 6. It doesn't really matter how much size is on there. But when it turned at that price the second time, I elected to reload, was able to get a fill exactly at $6, oddly enough. Now I want to get back into VWAP on this trade. You are seeing a market which is trying to decide what the heck is going on. Like overall, the NASDAQ is trying to break these lows here, 17.5, and you've got the ES, which is still looking relatively strong. So it's hard not to favor shorts. AMD just broke 170. Like that's headed back downside on.
Oh
AMD,
wow, okay.
You've got Tesla. So like the EV names like Tesla. Why is it still NEO? There we go. Tesla trying to hold on to that 212 level, which I think is so key. This is my over/under level. With the market headed down here, I do not want to be in this till I see a little bit of buying in green, but Tesla actually showing some relative strength. So I feel like I should be looking for another additional short here outside of just NIO because this market looks like it's giving up some of this bid.
Yeah, we got back in to Affirm here, but I want this thing to really start to collapse back in. We got stopped out at the level that we wanted to, so it was very, very reasonable for us right now. But yeah, nice little downside push on that. We got to look to see some other names. Your AMD
is 3% to the downside.
I was going to say that call is interesting to me because
it broke 170. I'm looking at the 170 level maybe.
Are we hearing anything, Adara? I mean, she's looking right now, so we'll wait for that, guys, in case you guys are interested in anything. It could just be that the steam's coming out of all of these names again, which it will, right? I mean, mean, this is something that happens sometimes. Yeah, Intel really getting kicked as well. So it looks like it is a pretty major.
At ARM.
It's a
2 seconds ago, I was canceling an 80 breakout long on ARM, and now it's at 77.5. Wild. I want to look for some kind of a chip name, at least to try to join the party and short to the downside on some kind of a pop. I like 72 better than 70 on AMD. ARM looks okay.
Whoa. Where's Intel?
Micron, just another chip name which is turned. Micron went exactly to $90. If this gets back up to that price, then I'd be a little bit shocked, but that might be worth a shot if you can get something off of that level. Still just working with Neo. That keeps on giving the same scalp trade over and over again. Oh, and this SGMT, for everyone that's looking at the small caps, the tap on SGMT is 1632. It's looking like it's going to open at a fresh high. This is not where I want to be chasing those names. I'm thinking about where can we get into a south side on a pop of one of these chips without rushing into it, though. Firm, I think it's definitely too far too fast. I don't want to wait for 50. I know 50 is a big level, but I want to wait for that because 11% off the pop at the open, this is definitely a bit much here on a firm. $50 is the obvious level. I think I got to look at here is 48. So 48 looks pretty decent as well. But I don't need to rush that trade.
No, a firm keeps on going to the upside, so be careful with that one. As you can see me losing on that. We're back into a firm anyways. Okay, so we're only down 1% here. I wanted to try Intel off 47.50, so we'll start the bidding here for I think 47.89. So we're out of the money right now, 5 cents. But again, it's a huge move down. Here's 47.50. I just wanted to see if we broke that. I mean, you could even go a little bit lower, 47.40, maybe on a break. 47.40 could be something there. But again, just some definite steam coming out right now. Okay, we're also on a firm as well, back into that one again. We got to take some profit when we have it because we've celebrated, then it goes against us. What's up, Adara?
I don't have news on all the chip names, still keeping an eye out there, but AMD did get a downgrade this morning from Northland Capital from outperform to market perform, so that's something just of note with AMD specifically, guys.
Okay, that could be something there for sure.
I mean, that seems a much. We've got a new position, and it's going to be Tesla. It's just a matter of that 212 level, which has been so key. The buyers finally stepped up on the other side of it, so anyone, I'm now in. I have my local stop at the bottom, but that 212 level, these crazy wicks in the chart. Okay, we'll do it this way. 212, 212, 212, 212, 212.
Was there any 212s there?
Well, I feel like if we say it enough, then it'll be obvious. Why? Because it's just like, okay, pre-market lows, but it's every single day the last little bit. If you find a direction off that level, it's generally been pretty good. So I want to try to scalp this to the high, and then if you can break out, great. It's a weird day when the EV names are looking, well, this name is looking strong and the chip names are looking weak. That's kind of the reversal effect of what we've been seeing recently. Neo is still basically doing exactly what it was before, which is trending up and then sellers at the $6 level. The size is backed off of 6 even, so I don't think I'd go for this a third time. Give it to this local high, see how far that bad boy can go. Let's not talk about football just yet, but yeah. I see all of the message that are going through. It is what it is. DWAC, forgot to mention this, $33 on the daily is a monster resistance level on DWAC, and it already made one push off this. If it can take out 33, this actually has some serious room to run to the upside. And after going 0 for 2 on Fisker at the dollar level, well, I like the dollar price, so I like the dollar price either way. Shorted 98s, shorted the dollar, took a couple cents, took a 4-cent hit, then a 2-cent hit. I'll go long off the dollar level. I have no issues going in both directions here. Fisker up 34%. I mean, it's been so bad that if it just starts being good. Well, it's not that maybe it's good. It's just that it's a lot of room for it to run to the upside when you've been down pretty much every single day for the last year.
All right. Here we go, guys. I mean, we stuck with the Affirm trade, and now it's paying off. So I don't know. Now we're 50 cents in the money. We're almost back to flat on the trade, and we're still holding more than half of it. So I really like it. Let's just see what's happening right here with Disney as well. Disney with a nice move up. We just take another piece out. I'm going to cancel my 94.25 fill and see if this can really get going. Man, we are making a decent amount of cash today, guys. There goes Affirm. I mean, Alibaba is a dollar club member right there. Disney basically got to $1. Disney got to $1, but we didn't take it. It got to 90 cents. We didn't take it. We should have. And here comes Intel.
PayPal just came.
PayPal's all the way back in. Okay, so this could be something that we definitely like as well. Let's just hit that PayPal a little bit longer here. But we are short Affirm, and we are really bleeding down on that name. Bang! Right now, let's go, man. This is what we're all about. Let's get this energy going here on a Monday, baby. Yeah, wow. All right, we're rejuvenated now. Here we go, man. There goes PayPal screaming down, and Affirm as well. Good move there. I'm going to cancel my PayPal bid even a little bit lower because we have this trade. If PayPal wants to go back up, I'm there for that as well. We're long right now at 39 on PayPal, but it's Affirm that really started clocking downside there for me with some nice outs there on the downside. So far so good here as we're working it out, man. PayPal, Disney, here we go. Some nice upside moves, man. PayPal, there we go, PayPal.
I shouldn't do the here we go because I feel like I'm just going to get trash talked, and deservedly so. It is what, don't stop laughing, Sharif. Don't laugh at another man's pain. No, I deserve everything that I get for the Buffalo Bills rants. But 213 just came in here on Tesla, so this is now ramping to the upside. Waited for it to hold that bid at 212. The second it held a bit over 212, go into the long. It's already over $1 in the money. The PayPal dip buy came in there, held that low. We're able to get 30s, got some out there in the 60s. I'll take another leg out in front of 67, as that is now a rocket ship to said upside. We're going to be under pressure on that NIO. NIO finally getting into that 610 level. I think it takes it out this time. We have a couple of scalps underneath. Here, let's try to show you the 610, 610, 610, 610. If it cannot hold on to that, I think you got a breakout potential trade. And we said this is worth a shot at a reversal on NEO. 610 is just a level from the last 3 days. Short had worked, but now if it breaks out, got to reverse it. Tesla about to get to 215. If I see a big seller at 215, I'll take the 2.5 and run.
All right, yeah, good trade there on Tesla. Look at Intel, man. We're really starting to go to the upside right now. We put out some shares on that one, so we're pretty cruising today and pretty happy with what's been happening. PayPal did not go as high as we thought there. It just faded off of VWAP. We have 67.50 coming through as well, and a nice little move back upside here for Affirm as well. What up, A?
Yeah, another payment name to bring to you guys right now, SQ, block up about 4%. Another one of those names that was spotlighted by that Mizuho analyst with regards to strong payment names going into 2024. Also got a price target increase from Citigroup this morning from 65 to 76, so keep an eye on SQ.
Square making some power moves as well. So
that's squarely on my radar now.
Exactly as it should be.
Yeah,
I like that one.
Look at
I didn't have my joke drums on there. I would have hit the joke drum, but I was on the wrong page. Rumble, by the way, remember Rumble? We were mentioning that? Yeah, Rumble's breaking out them highs. It's continuing to rumble higher and higher. PayPal is close to VWAP. I just missed that fill underneath VWAP. Let's just move it to 85s. I was sitting at like 90s. Moving it to 85. Dip buy is in for this name as it starts to rocket ship back up. But the market's not crazy, and I feel as if the NASDAQ's not going more because of what we saw in these chip names. Like AMD, still under 170. I thought maybe 172 was looking for a short to pop there. Clearly, this didn't even want to get to VWAP. That's a bit of a disappointment. SoFi, Tony Price, shout out to you. Appreciate it. Miss SoFi. SoFi's up 9% today.
Boom. Yes, sir.
That's our absolute rocket ship. Okay, I'm not chasing this one. I like trends to the upside, but up 9%, that's a heck of a top to try to buy. I'll let this one calm down. I wasn't looking at SoFi in our prep, but you can't catch them all. Tesla going, PayPal going. We'll look to try to join one of these if we can find it. And DWAC's apparently dropping. That just makes me think about, is there a trade on Funware in the other direction?
Guys, PayPal is really pumping again. If you're not part of Sticky No Nation, get on that train stat right now. So the only stock we've lost on all day is the one I keep going back to, and that's Affirm, as there it goes again, right to the upside. So we've taken profit on these shorts. I mean, that short was 47 all the way down to 46, but then it just keeps on breaking backs, man. So right now, can you believe we're gonna have $3 club members on right now? PayPal, Disney, and BABA. So they're all starting to make moves to the upside as some of these beat up names continue to sort of dance around a little bit. And then we've got a big one on as well with Intel, but that only went, thank you, Mr. Rob, for that. That one only went to 48 and stopped. I mean, it got as high as 48.03. We did take something out right there right now, but that's it. Intel, SoFi again, good talk on that. Disney still going, BABA still going. Palantir, you know, when I start getting these ideas on Palantir, I need to kind of go, as Jay-Z would say, ham on these stocks, because like we wrote that down, we knew it, man. I don't even know how I found Palantir. Just went over there and was like, it's a stock I always look at. What are we doing? And I was like, oh my God, we broke 17. This is almost $2 in the money from our buy on Thursday. So Palantir, man, continues to sort of take names here and rip to the north side. So congratulations anybody that's there on PLTR lately. That's been an absolute ship right there to the upside. So Palantir continuing to work, Intel working, PayPal, there it is, man. PayPal is now nicely cooking to the upside with that dollar. So we will take a piece out and watch out for PayPal.
And 215 has come, 215 has gone on Tesla. Didn't add up there, didn't like the timing of it, but certainly going to look to trail this. If it breaks the 215 to the downside, I'll be thinking not VWAP, I'll be thinking 213.75 it looks like. Like this open range top there, 213.75, 213.50. If I get trailed out, I will look for a bid down in that price. I reversed NIO, said if it broke 610, we go into the long. I got 11, so no slippage at all on that trade. 10 broke, we were able to hit that 11 on an automatic order. So 3 longs, not really sitting in any shorts. I feel like if you're shorting something, it's probably still the chip names, but the market trying to get back into this upside. Oh, we forgot all about Microsoft and 400. Suffice to say Microsoft didn't hold on to 400. That does put the 400 break, I guess, back into play if this market can try to get there. But the long ain't wrong. This depends on where you're looking. As long as it's not a chip name, I think you're good to go. And Fisker, I am looking for the dip buy. I did not get it at 05. It's trying to break these tops here. Above $1, I want to be now in the long. I tried to short off the buck. Once you break above $1, it's got a 40-something% short float. I'll double check that when things calm down a bit. But I think you still got some room. Maybe a 110 break, but I'd rather go dip buy hunting instead of buying the highs.
Yeah, same on all these trades here today. This has been a little bit of a difficult day. There's no doubt about that, in my opinion. Especially only because of what Neil said there. It's like the chip names are kind of going the other way.
That was disappointing.
Which is a little disappointing. But I feel like we could have got.
They
some
were
of those
all
tops.
good. They were all free money on. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
On Friday, they were all free money longs, basically. So.
Understood on that. Okay, so we'll just continue to. There it is. We will take it. There's the third dollar club today. We got BABA, we got Disney, we got PayPal, and we'll take another piece out on Alibaba just because, man. When we just topped out at $68, we wrote down. Actually, no, BABA was what we talked about. Thank you, Rob.
The refill is key.
Yeah, what a day this could have been if I just stayed away from a firm. Remember, I talked about how much I love this stock, but it's a love-hate relationship, and I don't hate it today, but it's moving up. And you know what? That, like, the minute I'm learning every day, I think you got to hustle and learn. So
Hustle and Flow.
Yeah, Hustle and Flow. Good movie. No, it's PayPal. Like, why? If I think that PayPal it has something to offer today, probably should not be shorting, like Dara mentioned, Square, a firm. Like you know, neither Neil nor I. You know, there's my English getting better. Have looked at Upstart today, but I was going to say probably Upstart is absolutely ripping. So there it is. So there goes Upstart. Nice move to the upside. So you got to stay thematic here as you say, okay, where are the strength? Where is the strength today? And it looks like it might be in some of these payment names or new financing, right? So you have SoFi, Affirm, Upstart, all of these names cruising. Let's check out old finance right now and check out Jamie Dimon and what his company's up to today with JP Morgan. And they're back to highs again as well. So we talked about that on, again, on all shows, that I didn't like the XLF or the financial tops there, but we had earnings. They've now settled down, and now JP Morgan leading the way back up to the upside. Morgan is one of the most beat down names that I think has the best opportunity to get back to the upside. So you're gonna, I haven't even looked at this in the last couple of days, so see what I mean? Down here by the 50 period MA. So Morgan really getting kicked, you know, again, back up here, $91. That's very possible. It's $86 right now. So just be patient with everything, man. There's a lot of money to be had in this market. Patience is very, very key. Like we mentioned, shorting Coinbase 160, 170, 180. Hey, Kat, how's it going? And then also shorting Affirm was good at one point. Not today, as here we go. Looks like we're going to get close to getting stopped out on the high side of Affirm again. Wow,
Well,
Affirm just keeps going, man.
I just got out of Tesla.
Damn, Affirm.
As you will see, it's up that 2%. I was saying look for the next dip buy. It got into, we talked about this last week. Someone asked me what has been good and what has been the biggest change for me recently. And it's been higher efficiency when taking the trade. And if it gets to the decision point, and this is where I think I should get out, then I'm getting out. Few less of the home runs where I'm holding it all day, but a higher percentage of wins in the last 4 weeks. So it might have been happening again here. I do think that Tesla will give a dip buy at some point. We held on to the 212 level. It didn't wick underneath the 216, so we trailed it out. That's this level here, Wednesday close, and then Thursday you had that lower high. So that's the resistance spot. Still going to hang on to NIO here, as if we got the reverse on NEO breaking that 610. I think there's room to about 630 here. So if it can hold on to the $6 level, I think you got room to 630. I will look for dip buys in this as well. I feel as if Fisker should be the next thing, and sometimes you got to be willing to reverse the trade. If I had automatically reversed this and not even thought about it, and just taken 2s and 3s long, this would have been free money, but that wasn't the plan of action. I had a plan to reverse NEO. I did not have a plan to reverse in Fisker, but I am buying the dip back into 1. Let's get to the desk. It's time for happening now.
Another very strong day for the market coming into this new week, this Monday here. We are making new intraday highs on the S&P 500. A lot of these payment stocks really strong as well. We've been talking about strength in Affirm, PayPal, Upstart, all names to keep an eye on. A lot of these tech names strong as well, but chips taking a little bit of a backseat, specifically AMD today, getting a downgrade from Northland Capital from outperform to market perform, down almost 3% right now on the day after a lot of strength this last week, especially Friday. Save actually to the upside here after alongside JetBlue appealing the judge's ruling against their proposed merger last week. So Save climbing almost 10% right now to the upside. Last but not least on watch here, Macy's also stronger, up about 4%. The ticker for this one after rejecting an unsolicited offer from Arc House and Brigade. So keep an eye on all of these names heading into the rest of the day, guys.
Yeah, we sure will do that.
Save is...
Save is saving people's accounts or no? Here comes Intel.
Yeah.
Good. We got Intel. Again, I was about to go over to AMD and buy that 169. I'm close to buying this 169 dip on AMD. This is such a strong damn name, man. I mean, PayPal is just cruising. But yeah, I'm debating this move right here, just buying this and then just seeing what happens. So let's do it. We'll try it right now. We'll buy some AMD off that bottom. If it wicks down here, let's just get out, and we'll be wrong. 168.50 basically for Intel or for AMD. Let's see if that works out.
I'm looking at these.
I don't know
names,
though.
And
the market.
I thought for a second there that Micron might have been a relatively strong one, and now it's failing VWAP as well. So. I'm going to back off the chips for a second. I was able to buy the dip in Fisker. Wet the proverbial beak at 105 in front of the evens, but I think I allow this to carry the $1 level maybe back and forth a couple times. So I don't want to be all in. I want to have an amount that I can hold to 98. And if it goes underneath $1 and then holds 98, then I want to add to it at 1s and 2s. So I almost want to be all in only if it does a false break underneath that $1 level. SoFi. So sorry, I wanted to go to Save first. We already talked about SoFi. Shout out to everyone that went. I mean, whether it's a $7 break, that looks way cleaner than I would have realized on Spirit Airlines, up now 12%. If you're looking for the next big level, you don't have to look very far. When the Quadunk happened, the stock closed at just under $8, like $7.80, I think it was. And then on Friday, you had a pre-market high at the same price. If this gets above 8, I think it's going squeeze fest. So NEO long. PayPal's still continuing to work. I like this Fisker. I'm out of Tesla, but am looking for what the next trade here could be. I think maybe the 215. I said 213.5, but 215 could be the possibility. The chips still look weak. It might just be a short on some of these.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know what's going on, man, but there's definitely something going on.
They're dumping these chips, man.
They're getting absolutely destroyed right now. So we're, we take a little bit of a hit there again on AMD as it broke through. Like here comes 168. It's unbelievable, this move here on AMD. I mean, we tried it, did not work, but here comes 168 coming through again. So no real reason to be buying right now. We're still in a very, very small piece. I wanted to hold it so I could watch it, but we got in and out there very, very fast on AMD. We told you that if it broke that 168.50 level, that would be a problem, and that is exactly what it did. So here it comes, man. Wow. Downgrade, eh? Downgrade. We talked about these guys missing on earnings and this and that and all that kind of stuff. So their last 4 earnings reports, and here it comes. Wow, 167. All right, this is really starting to get flushed now. I don't even sure we have to buy any of these dips, man. It's going to the downside, and that's AMD. We might as well just get out of the small piece that we have before it gets disastrous. Good out for us on Intel, but yeah, man, everything falling back down into the bottom of the day again.
Affirm just made an over-under 47.5 here. The only problem is I would probably be short this if that last move was a little more parabolic. My rule of thumb is let it be a parabolic move up that you try to fade when something is doing this. That's a little too leisurely into the upside, but it's hard not to look for a short here. You're getting a bit of a flat bottom break on Micron. I'm going to short this one to VWAP. If it breaks back and holds above 89, I feel as if that there's still a long possibility for this name, but I think joining the party makes a heck of a lot more sense. PayPal's getting a break back underneath 67.
Oh, is it?
Oh, this is still in the pocket. I want to give this one another chance to bounce off the 66 level. I have done some scalping there. Neo is now really calmed down at that 610. So it got up there to like 617. If it can bounce off the 610 one more time, I'll add there. Otherwise, maybe wait for VWAP to come in. And then Fisker is holding right around that dollar level, so that one is pretty calm and collected. Should have just maybe, like Apple, woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
Very distracted. If it's not for Fisker, but this happens, you look at the wrong names. Apple did get to 195. Sorry, I mentioned we thought Apple could turn at 195. I was not on the stock. Clearly looking at other things. That's a fail. 194.90. That's about as clean as it gets. 10 cents away. It already pulled back and gave you like that 194.30 level. So already a good trade there once. If it gets there a second time and still looks good, I'd probably short it before there's a breakout trade. Apple has had a habit this time of day of failing breakouts. So if you get back to 95, I think it's worth a shot short.
Like I'm going to double speak here because I'm not trying to scalp out AMD, but unfortunately, I don't think I have much of a choice right now. We're long at 168.30, and it just keeps on bumping up to 50s and then not going and see, like now I'm offering again here, and I don't necessarily want to be doing this like that, but yeah, see, and here it comes falling back in again. So, all right, Affirm, good move. We're back into the short on that one. I don't know, but yeah, we're just gonna watch out for AMD. This is my newest position. We're buying it off that 168 bottom. Not much volume, but we're finally starting to get going on the futures a little bit. And if the futures, there we go, we got another fill there. If the futures do rip higher, then yeah, man, maybe this name gets a little. I don't think this is the long. You're better off going long. Like if you're really going to go long, I feel like you're always better off going long on names that have been working and buying dips. So like a PayPal, something like that.
Look at Rivian.
Oh, is Rivian ripping finally? Good, yeah. So there we go. And let me guess, off that, what did it get to 1550 or something? I mean, great support levels abound in a lot of these names, guys.
Yeah, like it's getting a little bit wild on Rivian. So if you're recapping last week, 1720 was the big level on Rivian, which I think we have a chance of testing here today. So if you don't have the long down here, it has to break 17.25. I think it's a fade up at that price. We'll go to Wadara. I just got another fill in Fisker, so kind of adding to that long over one. And Scott H, I am looking at save, but I'm not buying these highs. It now has to clear that $8 level. Let's go to Wadara at the desk.
Another double-digit mover today, Solar Edge SEDG up 11% after cutting 16% of its workflow as part of a strategic restructuring move. Keep an eye on SEDG, guys.
Come on, AMD. Okay, so right now, yes, Affirm. Yes, Affirm, and more yes, Affirm. Affirm coming back in, yes, sir. I like it right there. Nice move. Here it comes down, 62 cents now in the money, but we're still not doing well on Affirm. We need to come down a little bit more than that. All right, AMD as well, man. We talked about buying that 168er dip, so we'll let it go back up to the upside here, and hopefully that will continue to flow down. And okay, come on. Affirm, target. Let's go back to VWAP, 4630, something something like that. We'll put another bid here at 50. You got to put bids out. That's the one tip I can give lots of tips, but that's the one tip that helps me trading these crazier names is get your bids out there, man, because you want to get the fill. Especially when you're trading 6 names like I am right now, like a maniac. All right, so there goes, look at AMD. Look at AMD right now, a little bit of a face slapper as it goes back up to the upside on that one as well. All right, so far so good here on a couple of these reloads, man. We were in trouble a little bit there, but Affirm just paid us out, and so did Advanced Micro Devices. So yeah, man, so far so good. Yeah, Enphase, Carvana, I mean, everything
There's a lot of these
today.
These short flow type names, they're all squeezing to the upside, man. Fisker is getting back into the high of the day. I mentioned the short float on this was like 42%. Correction, the short float on Fisker is 47%. So it's actually been going up, believe it or not, which is a little bit wild. So it got a bounce. It then held at 102. So I thought it was going to retest ones. The second it held 102, I added and then added again above.
Look at AMD.
Looking for the breakout to the upside. I'm now in Micron the other direction. So we'll see. It's the first short we've had. I think this is the short to 89. If 89 goes, forget about it. I want one of these chip names and try to get a shot at this to the other direction because they've been, I mean, they have been the weak link so far in this market. Squeeze names going up, EVs going up, NEO's working, PayPal's still looking pretty good. Tesla, I thought we'd get a dip by. Nope. I guess right into 216, not 215. Tesla's still holding up that 2%. I want back into this one at some point. When Tesla trends, you should find a way back into it 2 or 3 times if it goes all day.
Almost $2 in the money on AMD. Wow. There it goes, man. AMD. Remember I was saying, like, you might not want to go long on AMD? Well, yeah, you might want to. There it is, man. Monster move for Advanced Micro Devices, and we are now $1.50 in the money and making back the majority of what we lost there. So hallelujah on that one, man. And then Intel as well, all the way up, back upside as well. Alibaba continues to be a spicy one as well. It's a little spicy meatball, but here goes Intel into 48.15s. Nice move back up. We should probably, oh wow, okay, don't talk about it. You got to get out of it first, as it's making that move back higher right now, or lower is Intel. So we should have maybe got a little more aggressive on that. We did get aggressive on AMD, so we're almost out of that. And then Affirm needs to fall back in a little bit here. So hopefully, again, I keep saying hopefully this and that, but let's hope that AMD can do that dance for us, or sorry, Affirm can do the dance back down as well. So that's what we're looking for, man. Like I said, it's been a pretty monstrous day here for some names, Neil, as you've had a great trade there on Tesla off that bottom. Let me just double.
DWAC's at that monster level. I didn't.
Okay, just Funware.
I'm just paying for some locates here on Funware.
What is the monster level for DWAC? 30?
$33. So why take a shot at shorting that freight train if it turns on DWAC? Sorry, I'm looking at Micron right now because I'm trying to process this.
I can just K back over to me and then.
But here's 33 on DWAC. If it fails this, it's Funware that I think it's better to take the shot at because risk to reward, it's just a little bit easier. So I'm just about to get the locates on. I can risk a ½ cent to 1 cent on Funware. And if DWAC crumbles from here, I think it's a safer trade.
Congratulations there, Dan McIsaac. I don't know if you did this. I don't know if some of my conviction was there or not, but congratulations on going long on Save there, a sub 7 as it's at 740 right now. Save. Really, and of course, that Spirit Airlines, okay, 730, so nice little move. Oh, it went to 760 there, Dan and company. Look as high as that got there off of those prints as well. Holy crap, man, this has been, what a recovery of a day, ladies and gentlemen. AMD, Affirm, pull, Affirm. Let's get back in, man. I'm bidding 46.50. Let's see if we can get a downside flush here on A to the F to the R to the M. Affirm on a little bit of a downside move there. If Palantir pulls back at all, I think, geez, where are you? Hello. This move just continues to go, man. We are now $2 in the money on a $16 name in our. So I have 2 different accounts. I have like a TFSA account. I bought this in both of them and my longer term account. So I'm still not getting out, but nice little move up there for Palantir.
Those in the States, that's like the
yeah, it's like I guess
like your Roth IRA.
Any sort of a
tax-free
savings account, yeah. And February 5th, I just want to double check the report date for Palantir. So we still are a little bit away. But if anybody's sitting around saying like, why is this show free? It's so good. Just make sure you do this.
Like and subscribe today.
Because we're not going here today or tomorrow. We'll be back here for live trading every single damn day. We've got the professor as well. Put it on the double shot if you can, Ramina. I want to give Kat, she's going to give a big wave here. Hi, Kat.
And the croissant.
Hello, she says. She says hello today. But I say to, what do I say to affirm? Ciao. There it goes to the downside. So we'll go bang and. All right, so let's see what happens here now with affirm. With the double fail there at 47.50. But again, we were short all the way up. So I'm just happy to have recovered some of the net loss on that one. And then Intel almost at move, not day's high. The day's high is when we opened, but almost at the high of this move again. And we did buy that bottom with two hands there. So that was good. And then here comes AMD, not $1, but $2 now, looking for that in the money now on advanced micro devices.
So the new position for me, and thanks for covering there. Again, I didn't have my locates on Funware. Didn't really think DWAC was going to get to 33 that fast, but it did. So when DWAC wicked the 33, which is the monster level, if I short DWAC there, I'm actually in the money $1, $1.50. But I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. I like it a little bit better if you can risk less to make a tighter trade on Funware in the other direction. This worked well for the longs last week. Let's see if it can work for the short. So I'm giving it to the local high, short 31s in Fun, and that way if DWAC gets to VWAP, I can scalp this 30, 29, and then 28s on DWAC. So I just want everyone to understand, like, yes, DWAC's the one that got to the key level, but I've been expressing some of these trades over in Funware. Instead, Fisker is still attempting to break this 110 level. If it breaks 110, I'll take another out. But as long as it holds a buck, I want to be reloading the longs. We did take the L short first, and then worked on over into those longs. I do find sometimes you like a reversal trade. Not every single level is a reverse for me, but something like that dollar level, when a stock is a 47% short float, I'll take the shot at it. Same thing with NIO. Under 610 was short, over 610 have been long, and want to see if it hold on to that 6 level. Yes, Apple is back at 195. So it's here, and there's sellers. It's easy to say 195 is the key level, but you can tell when there's sellers on the level. I haven't seen size on the level too, but I promise you there's probably a decent sized offer at 195 on Apple. I'm going to short it, but understand for a day trader, like, we're scalping it. I think Apple is a great long. We had it long, it's all well and good to draw lines in the chart, but we didn't go over Apple this morning. I thought the chips would be better, and unfortunately they were just not strong. So that was a bit of a miss on something like Apple. But I will short this 195 the second time through. Acknowledging the first time is usually the better trade.
Look, I'm just trying to find some more opportunities, and
PayPal's dipping a bit.
XPEV is, and PayPal, we're out of it. PayPal's actually going to be, Intel's going to be my number one, well, Alibaba's going to be my number one stock, but actually, no, Intel, it's a choice. And the reason for that is just you can see the movement up here for Intel as it just continues to make moves higher. We were able to buy that dip bottom there. And then we also were trying to buy some AMD, but we bought it too early apparently, as we were trying to play against 169. And then when that dropped out, we got out at 168.50, which sucked, 50 cents worth of a hit. And then we were able to bring it back up, but we don't hold as many shares on the way up as we did on the way down. So that part kind of sucks right there. But we'll have to continue to watch out for it. Affirm is not all the way back, but we got a great, remember that great fill at 50? Like that was a great fill. So we're going to have to watch out for this name. It's coming right back upside right now as Affirm. So this could be another shorting opportunity. You mentioned PayPal dipping, so that's good, but now it's coming back up a little bit. So we'll have to watch out for that. That high is 47.80 there. So my out on Affirm would be in and around $48. So let's short it. If it gets back up to that high, we'll put some more on for Affirm, but not until that, because we know this name can rip. So 47.70, our next little trade alert for Intel. And I kind of like what you're doing there with PayPal, or at least looking at it, as it's come back in quite, no, neither have I, but quite nicely. Oh, you know what we didn't even look at?
So we just come to PayPal for a second. It bounced at 66.25. So I'm just looking for it to make a bit of a turn here. It's obviously, like, it's kind of trending to the downside. You guys can see, like, it's lower highs for now. So it has to hold this level. Show me you can hold this level, and then we'll take it one more time. But Apple is the newest position. I just got 80 short. So if it can hold on to 195 to the downside, we are taking that. I know we're about to go in a second to Adara, but Tesla VWAP as well. So I got trailed out of Tesla. It is what it is. It was a bit early, I suppose, but if it can bounce here, VWAP, great. I'm more thinking about the shorts that we just put on Apple and Micron need these to get back into this downside because the market is making lower, the NASDAQ is making lower highs. I didn't check the ES, but probably the same thing. And we're starting to come back into the lows. We test 17.5 again. It's about covering some of the shorts that we just put on, taking some profits there and finding some dip buys in the longs. But patiently, it's past 10 o'clock. You always want to be patient this time.
I couldn't agree with that more, as patience is a virtue that we all have to possess at some point. Okay.
Sometimes it's okay to take the underneath throw.
Yeah. Sometimes, they were saying, Romo said it looked like his arm got hit there. I don't know if it did. I know he was rushed a little bit.
He was rushed a bit.
But that quarterback is not the easiest position.
It's impossible. Look, Josh Allen threw to the open receiver in the end zone, and he missed the throw.
Yeah.
It is what it is. He took the shot. That's Josh Allen. The guy was
supposed to
open,
take the shot.
and he just missed it. Personally, I'm more conservative. I probably would have gone for Diggs and tried to get the first down, but that's just me. That's why I'm not Josh Allen. And,
is that why?
Well, there's about a million reasons I'm not Josh
I wish.
Allen. I'm not 6'5", 237.
No, that
although
would be nice.
in my prime, I'd take his punk ass in a race. But I'm like 170 pounds.
I'm glad you're calling him a punk ass.
No, look, man. I have very mixed feelings over the game because
Really?
I feel like they played their hearts out. I don't know how much more you could ask out of them, and they got beat by a team that's pretty damn good. Let's go to the green screen right now because it's pretty darn good to get on over to the small cap recap.
So many small caps on the move today. This is the IWM, the Russell 2000, up about 2% today. So really strong look here for all of these names. Some of the ones on watch today include Rumble, RUM. This one was mentioned earlier, trading higher after announcing a partnership with Barstool Sports. A really good look for Rumble, about 25% right now. We also have Rail Vision. This one's been trading higher for the last couple of days here. RBSN saying that they have received formal certifications from Europe for its mainline system. So keep an eye on this name as well. And last but not least, we do have Sagamet Biosciences, SGMT. This one up over 100% after announcing some positive clinical trial results here. So keep an eye on all of these names heading into the rest of the day, guys.
All right.
Oh, no, 66.
What happened to AMD? Oh, AMD
right.
fell back down.
So I'll get out of...
Didn't even notice that.
Oh, there we go. I'm out of PayPal. You'll see that 66 got taken out. I never ended up reloading it.
AMD.
There was just no strength off that bid, so we got the dip buy once, and then we have to walk away from it, at least temporarily. Micron's rolling back into the downside, so that's been okay, but I'd like to see it break down to the 88 level. If it gets down into the 20s, I'll take a bid. Apple was good for like a second, like a couple of seconds, I suppose. Like it flexed back into 194.60, got a fill there, and now it's right back up, retesting that 195. Apple is strong. I don't think I need to take this. It would be a second time for me, but it's a third time that it's testing the level. Don't know that I need to battle that one over and over again. Apple just way too strong. You can scalp a winning trade to the long side. Doesn't mean you have to keep fighting it, though. Or to the short side.
Apple 1.63.
So, like, Apple...
I don't even want to get out of this trade. Like, I own this stock, obviously. We all do. And I don't know what to do with it. It's a nice move up. I still sort of think that we are going to have a move down in these futures when earnings season kicks off, which is ASAP. So, I don't know, man. I wonder, for those of you asking me in the chat, I think SPY puts and NASDAQ puts are better than calls. But everything's going to be really expensive right now. So, I don't know. Whenever you're looking at earnings season, you got to think like our stocks, I'm going to look at Mara here in a second, but like our stocks primed to beat or to miss. And I mean, when I'm looking at AMD, you just tell me, I feel like people are making this decision up right now. They're sort of shooting first, asking questions later, like why not just get out? It's doubled since their last report, which was a miss. Doubled, 94, like 94 to 180 there. Like greed is good at some point, but after a while, people are going to come at some of these names just because they're getting feels about the market. And it's not that NVIDIA deserves to be down or AMD deserves to be down. It's just that they're going to get hit because of money comes out of strong names because that's where the money's been made. Like, if you think the market's going down from here, you're probably not selling like Alibaba because you're already getting killed on this name. So it's like you're waiting for it to bounce back upside. If I look at my account right now and I say I'm looking to raise cash, this is probably, I don't know if it's the right way or wrong way to think about this, but it's like, okay, now I've had a huge move up. I'm going to take some money off the table and then maybe put it into some beatdown names, which is why you're seeing beatdown POSs like Affirm being up 11%. You know, like Square, like PayPal. And I don't own Affirm, but I own the other two. So I'm not talking about like that the companies are absolute crap. It's just these are beat down names, and then you're getting upside moves as well in some of the other beat down names that are maybe zeros. Rivian, like all the way to the upside here today, up 7. You know, so a lot of the money is rotating out of, you know, high profitable, volatile names that have already made their moves, now going back in and seeing if we can find some relative strength. Michael Nas talked about the IWM versus some of these other indexes, and then the RSP, the equal weight. So that fits perfectly with what I'm talking about here, as people are now rebalancing their own portfolios into weaker names to see if they can get some, it's like Alpha, Delta,
It's rotation
Romeo.
to things that have trying to play catch up, right? Like Michael Nas came on and was talking about the Russell 3000 and SMCI. A couple of things. One, I did just dip by NEO in front of $6. That's one. SMCI did the polar opposite of what it did on Friday. Like on Friday, the stock wicked the bottom, and then you just couldn't be wrong if you went long. Today, it wicked 480 up at the top, which is, last time I checked, almost $150 from that bottom at the open. It wicks the top and is coming back in. That's insanity. That's the thing about this stock. And everyone do you, but there's a reason. Trading this as a day trader at 9:30, to me, it's very difficult to trade because your stop levels are $10 to $15, and that's when and it's factoring in reasonable slippage. So it's a crazy stock. It is head to the downside. I think when I see that, I look at something like a Micron, and again, short Micron into VWAP here. It's more of a scalpier type of trade, so it's easier trade to make as a trader. But I'd rather be in that direction, despite the fact this is up 1%.
I'll take one, sure, yeah.
Like you're still up 1% on this chip name, and it's holding support levels. But when I see SMCI turn, I want to look for the fade. I'm good, thanks. Appreciate it there. Sharif. So short Micron, that's continuing to go. Fisker, another one of these squeeze names. It's bounced off VWAP again. I just reloaded NEO and didn't get Fisker at that 102. I'm going to take another leg here at like 9s and 10s if we can get it. Fisker off that dollar level looking pretty good. If it takes out the tops, there's no telling where this could go as a squeeze name. 47% short float. I'm not saying it gets to $2 today, but the logical levels for any kind of a squeeze rally are 135 and then $2. 135 is at least realistic today.
How's this Alibaba trade looking, man? This is, again, another one here that we had earlier. Bottom pick there on Alibaba, and I like the 68 break as well. Right here, but it broke 68. We got some out at 68.15. So let's wait to see what happens here on Alibaba as we'll continue to add a little bit to that trade, and then we'll see where we can go from here on Alibaba. I like a lot on Alibaba, so we'll wait to see here. I'm gonna get out. So we just got some more. Just came in. Well, we just got some more now. Came back to 68. Obviously, we'd like to see this market rip as Alibaba takes off to the upside. We're gonna wait for this drop. Just the 50-period moving average. I'm not going to wait. Well, I mean, at this point, we could wait for view up as well. I was just going to wait for the 50-period. So if we drop through there, because so many times, again, that we sit here every day and we watch sort of our stocks ride the 50-period moving average, and I wind up getting out too early. So I don't really want to do that right here, but it is falling in just a bit. Wow. We have done really well holding on to Intel as that name's kept on high side. But you just talked about SMCI getting crushed downside. AMD that was what's happening at SMCI.
SMCI is getting crushed.
Yeah, so AMD is just quickly here. AMD, Neil, is the exact same story as SMCI. It seems like down 4, but I shouldn't say. I have to apologize because Neil was talking about it and I was looking at AMD, so I didn't see the percentage down. Okay, so not down as much, but still not doing well here. is SMCIs. It just continues to make moves lower and lower and lower. But here comes Alibaba. Looks like we might have to get out of this one. Breaking through 67.70 would be my out here on Alibaba.
Speaking of, I just got a peek at, obviously Apple has some size at 195. I just got a peek at it. I see about 250 to 300,000 shares on the offer at 195. That size doesn't really matter on a level like that. You want there to be something if you're shorting it, obviously, but it doesn't mean that it can't print right through that in one shot. But I am shorting that level and that level alone. Wow, these chip names. The market just broke 17.5 to the downside. So if this is a wick bottom on the futures, I said take some profit. So this is the bottom on Micron. Quickly, just, of course, the second I decided to take some on Micron, the futures were looking like they had a shot to bounce and retest 17.5, but we are coming into the downside there. So the shorts had been working, at least in the short term, like the last 15 minutes or so, especially on those chip names. I reloaded Apple. Looks like Fisker is going to do okay. It's a penny stock. It might not care. The chips are the place to go. I was just saying SMCI, but look at NVIDIA too. NVIDIA underneath 600. NVIDIA now breaking 595 into the downside. Like these are looking very, very different from what we saw on Friday. They're starting to give up the ghost a little bit. As far as NVIDIA goes, 585 to 587 would look like a potential dip spot. But I'm trading Micron here because I like that VWAP setup. And then Apple 195 is a bit of a gimmick trade as well. But arrows down.
Yeah.
Finally got like a short that's working. And lo and behold, you see weakness in the chips, short a chip name, the first one that's set up.
Yeah, I'm driving my account into the ground here because we just went long again here, and we probably should not have. And of course, that was on BABA there as it just broke lower. So yeah, I want to wait, but it just keeps on breaking. We said we wait maybe for VWAP or something like that. Alibaba's still weak, man. I just thought that bump up through 68 was something that we would want to take. So if we have to wait for that bottom take again, we do. But there goes a firm breaking lower as well. But yeah, that Alibaba trade sucked as it broke lower and lower and lower. So I don't know, man. Maybe nothing is working out here. Again, we're getting slow internet on this side. So maybe I have to message somebody about that. But what's up to the desk now with Adara?
Interesting story here regarding the significant outflows in the first week of spot Bitcoin ETF, specifically for Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF. Some sources reporting here, this is from CoinDesk, that FTX sold about $1 billion of Grayscale's Bitcoin ETF. So that could explain what's happening here with those outflows for Grayscale. Just something to keep in mind with regards to the ongoing spot Bitcoin ETFs situation. We also do have here a significant drop in Bitcoin. Now we are just above that $40,000 level, so pretty significantly falling out of that 41,000 to 43,000 range we had over the last couple of weeks leading up to that approval of the spot Bitcoin ETF. Bitcoin down about 3% right now. Like I said, hovering just above that 40,000 right now. We're just below 40,005. Ethereum down about 4.5%, around that 2,300 level. Pretty mixed performance for the rest of these, but generally negative. Solana down about 7%, Ripple down about 5%, guys.
We were just saying, like,
market's giving it up
man,
here.
This is not.
And look, the NASDAQ is green by point. It's like 0.2. The ES is still technically green as well, but we're giving it up. Like 5% down on AMD. Now, obviously, when I was saying, let me wait for 172, the market looks strong. And when the market looks strong, my thought, generally speaking, is short the pops and get good prices. That would have been fantastic in AMD. Micron's okay. And it's going to break this 88 any second now. But AMD is down 5% and falling more like a rock than anything else. I think a lot of times the best you can do is get out of dodge. Key levels here, 162, that should be obvious. Was fortunate enough to get like one dip and scalp on Intel, and that broke down. Should have been shorting VWAP there, but you pick your poison. And you got to find the one that sets up for you. Was able to get in the Micron late. If it holds on to 88, they'll probably just jump out of this if the market holds these lows. And then look for the next leg to the downside. It could be a pop into VWAP to short, or if we break this securely, look to Friday's close at 87.5. So I'm looking for the next $0.50 here on Micron. Apple, I just keep scalping the 190 level, 195 level over and over again. Like it'll go and give you short in front of 95 and then out in the 60s. So it's about like you're getting close to 90s at the top, like mid-80s. You get that 1-to-1 and then look for the bigger move. It's not doing much more than the 1-to-1. So Apple is relatively strong, but trying to scalp it here. Eric, the market is not strong
Thanks,
in my
man.
estimation.
Okay, thanks.
The market's looking very heavy. Like Apple's holding on really nicely, but overall, like you look at Google, like there's names that are strong. Don't get me wrong. Like Google's at the lows of the day. Microsoft failed the $400 level. The chips are headed to the downside. So you are green. The market is green, but it's not looking strong to me. Apple's that last thing holding on. Even Tesla. Like we're just long Tesla 212, thinking I got out too early, and it's right back at 212 as we speak.
Oh, man. Well, we do have a new position alert. I mean, my Alibaba doesn't seem to... Oh, okay. Now Alibaba's going up. I'm going to take a little bit off on Alibaba, guys. Honestly, I'm feeling ways about that stock. All right. So we were able to get the reload that I'm talking about here was Disney. So we'll take a little bit out here as it's starting to go back up. What's up, A?
Just a quick note on Rumble here, trading up on that news about the partnership with Barstool Sports, but the CEO of Rumble tweeting that he is, quote, saving the best part for Patrick Brett Davis's podcast at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So there could be an extra update on this story. Just keep an eye on that if you are involved in this name, guys.
Ooh la la.
Ooh, there's even more to come. Always keep your, we always trade with stops here. I know that's something that almost across the board, like I'm talking a hard stop. Like I get into Tesla on the dip at the same price, and I throw a stop order underneath that support level at 211.75. If it breaks that, I just get out. But if you're trading Rumble and you know there could be news any second, that's even more important, I think, to have yourself an out and make sure you adhere to it. Just did another reload on Apple. Apple's about to break this 195. So this is the third time I've taken it. Each time we've been able to scalp some out. This time might be the last time on Apple, as it's got some size there. It just got to 99s on the offer.
What?
As this continues to just, like the market's at the lows of the day. Apple is up 1.8% and about to, basically take some names here at the 195. If you've been scalping it out, you're up. But if you've been holding the short, waiting for it to go like $1 or something, it doesn't make any sense. Like this is very much a specific scalp trade. Otherwise, it's clearly.
Yeah, I'm doing the same thing here. When I noticed that Alibaba was not working out here, we tried to take something out in the 60s. You guys saw me do that right here, and it looks like it wants to break 67. Oops, that's still Apple. Hold on a second. Okay, there it is, Alibaba. Looks like it wants to break lower right now. So we're going to do the same thing as Neil is trying to get out. As we said, so there might be a little something up with that, so we'll wait to see if that's going. Obviously, there goes Affirm right now. This is going to be a big one, $1.50 in the money, still coming down for Affirm. I don't have any bids until $45.50. Like, I think this name could completely fall apart, obviously. And then Disney, ooh, it's moving a little bit better than I thought. Right now, Apple just broke. Okay, so
broke.
Okay, Apple
back under.
Apple broke and faded back under. We'll go over to it quickly as Neil's on it right there. Yeah, so I did not want the long break. What I want is I want to bid down here near the 50 period. So back down in around 66 or 67 there for Apple would be really nice if that came in. But I want Apple to rip now just because I have Boba long and the market long right now. The only short that we have is Affirm, and it's $1.20. So I don't have to worry too much about that. So let's go over to Neil, see what's going on with Apple, but it is dipping a little bit now.
So I did I got out on the break. I always have a hard stop, but we just talked about having a hard stop. So I did break out, and then it immediately held the 95 in the other direction. So I got out just in case it ran and went straight to like 195.5, and then jumped back into the trade the second I saw it fail the 195 immediately. I ended up with 96s on the way back in. Can I zoom further? There you go. So there's the stop. Then there's the jump right back in on momentum. I'll still play it back to 196, and maybe we get something like a bit of a VWAP retracement here for Apple. The market is down. I always want to pick a direction at a level like that, and I'm not going long breakout on a name like this when the market's at the lows. So I kind of stuck with the short idea. It could still break the local high at 10s, and then I'll have to jam out of the trade to be sure. Micron's still kind of holding the 88 level. Tesla went in for the dip buy. I'll zoom back so you can see this a little bit better. So I said have a hard stop. We did the dip buy. Show me the buying. I'll join it. Give you to the local bottom, but I'm not going to fight you forever. This market is looking a little bit too heavy to be fighting those long trades. So in and out of Tesla, keep it tight. That way you're not really giving a lot back. What seemed like one of the strongest stocks out there. I mean, just like that. And that Tesla's literally red on the day.
All right,
that is like, come on, like Tesla, I felt like it was going to get going. You break that 212, I thought we're going to be gonzo. And now the stock is red. Wild day in the markets today. Very much not what we expected. And there goes Apple. It just broke those 10s, so risk about 15 pennies on that trade. Apple just continues to run.
Yeah.
Right, Sharif?
Yeah, Apple.
No, but seriously,
But Apple was obvious in my opinion.
But Tesla,
Not for today,
the
but-
day Tesla finally went in the morning, you felt like that would be the day it would put on a relief rally, and then everyone would just be getting punked, like break the shorts backs, and then it just turns red, and it's 10:40.
Shiv, what's the matter? You get out of your Apple?
Should be shorting Rivian,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
Should have shorted Rivian off that top.
We're $10 in the money on Apple in 2 days. I mean, sheesh. That's why I just keep saying, man, what's up to Obi and what's up to all the traders I talk to about trying to manage the portfolios and whatnot. Like Apple, the minute that watch ban and all that, and they sort of figured that stuff out and decided it's a plan of action that they wanted to do, and it's just been an absolute rocket ship to the north side. And it's the same story, man. Like, they're always going to hate on this name, and then, it'll probably get to 200, and then some supply issue will happen, which won't happen, but, Bloomberg will say it is. And then it'll go down to 190, and then they'll say, supply's figured out, and then right back up to the upside, and then they'll say, weak demand for iPhone 16. Psych, there's great demand for iPhone 16. What the hell are we talking about? So we'll wait to see it, man. Up 2% against the market that's flat. I like a lot right now, so congratulations anybody that's on that one. And if you bought the dip, check out what Disney's doing there, guys. Wow, that was a good dip there on Disney. And again, we talked about why we liked Disney here. We weren't sure. Just a nice move to the upside. We were watching it. It's above the 50 period. I still think Disney can break. So we'll take another piece out. But there it is right there. Look at that, man. Once, twice, kablam, all the way up to the upside. Good trading there for Diz. I got tired of watching Affirm bounce around, so we'll take the $1.50 there and see what we can do with it, as there goes Affirm coming back in one more time. So far, so good on that one. Let's just wait to see if this market has juice. It's gotten going before.
It's got enough to go around.
It's OJ?
Sip the juice.
Oh, sip the juice. I'm thinking
Eric
about the
B.
juice is
McCain.
loose.
It's
OJ Simpson.
The movie Juice with Tupac and Mike Epps. Not Mike Epps, Omar Epps.
Omar Epps, yeah.
Oh my goodness, 34 just broke on Funware, which is wild because this stock was at 27 cents. This is the 34 level on Funware. This is the Huadunk, and this is now a double top trying to break out. Yeah, I risked half a cent there. Why am I not willing to risk half a cent on the breakout? Let's be real. Let's get onto the desk. I think it's already time for Sector Watch.
And nice look for the market overall here. Definitely some outsized strength in certain sectors. Producer manufacturing very strong across the board here. Nice look for CAT and some of these other names. Consumer durables also worth noting. Tesla actually just saw that there was a price target decrease from Morgan Stanley, so keep an eye on that for Tesla. But very strong right now along with the rest of that sector. Finance pretty strong across the board as well, so nice look here. Health technology pretty good look here too, but we do have some mixed sentiment in some of these retail trade, not too much happening. Consumer services, pretty mixed as well, and energy minerals, mixed to negative. Also, of course, worth noting these technology services and electronic tech sectors. Electronic tech, a different look today with actually some weakness in these chip names. Noticeably, AMD lower after a downgrade from Northland. So keep an eye on AMD and the rest of these chip names. A little bit more of a downside look for these guys today.
I was just going to tell you guys that we were able to get out of some BABA, and we did. My best out, though, is 73. I just want to give people an update, an idea of what we're trying to do. So try to let it go upside. It broke the 50 period. It did go, but now we're fading back in again. 67.50 break. We're gone. We've done well to make money back here from not on BABA's been fine, but like on AMD when we were long early, then got hit and then got it all out for like, was it up like $1.50 or so? But right now, AMD, we just keep talking sort of about the same names here, but because they're in trouble, AMD is making that move down. And I think, if you're not in, like, let's just say you're looking for some strength in some chip names here, but it's maybe a name that you don't own yet. I mean, ARM is pulling back a little bit here. This could be good, like $76, $77. This is probably a good buying area. I just don't know if the market is along right now for the chips. Like we said, NVIDIA was up near $6 there, and here it is now down 7 from there. Neil was obviously looking at Apple, which Apple probably faded because of this recent move. Now it's still there. So if there's going to be, honestly, guys, if there's going to be a strong name, I would say it's looking more like Apple might. DWAC for sure. Remember when Funware? Oh, that was funny because in the pre-show, I said, just buy 28s. This name's going to go. Like, Obviously, if I knew that, I would have bought it, but there it goes right now. Amazing move on Funware. Maybe I should take my own advice a little more often and stop trading some of these other names. But the one thing that we can always talk about is what's for lunch. All right, so today, again, we'll kick off Mondays with the right way. With? Chicken. All right. Today's a little different. Tesla 210 coming. I'm going to go over there immediately. I just got to do this. Country chicken pot pies with mini potatoes. Country chicken pot pies with mini potatoes. Go get it if you want. That sounds like a dinner to me. All right, here we go. 210 coming in on Tesla right now. And that's kind of like what I was talking about, guys. You're going to have to try to be as specific as you can with what trades you like and why you like them. So right now, Tesla's come in. Sure, we've talked about this name lots, but it's not moving that great. So you have to be pretty weary of Tesla coming back in. I am not, as Neil and I like to say, stand in front of some trains here. I'm not going to do that on Tesla right now. Not worth it, in my opinion, as the market just continues to pump lower and lower and lower. I do not like this risk here at 210.
Oh, they rinsed it.
I mean, it looks like we could have a nice downside move. What's up over there?
Oh,
Funware?
they just did the Hua Dunk on Funware.
Ugh.
Oh, I actually reversed there. I actually had to stop and then punched out.
All right.
But they just reversed it. I was just getting 36s and 37s out on the long trade. Like it was 36, was about to fill some 37s, and then there's like your rinse. I'm out. I did actually take a short position. That was mostly unintentional. But yeah, I'll just start getting it out here. I don't know if we get all the way back into VWAP, but that was a wild, wild reversal. Always have orders out there so you can take some out. Was able to get that 36, but now you're starting to come back in on Funware. You could get to VWAP, but it's also a decent chance it finds this 31.5, 32 for a little bit of support. Okay, I thought I would give it a chance to get to VWAP in there, but I'll just punch out the 33 quarters. So I still think this has a chance to be a very good reversal long because you're above the breakout price. But when you do that kind of a hammer down, I like to let it calm down a bit. So I was joining, I had 34 long, I added at 35.
Oh, I did have Tesla.
Half,
what
then we took that 36 out. So now we're just back in, Fisker off the lower level and Micron. But this looks like a great opportunity still. The volume's 250 million shares, so I think it's going to continue to churn. It did make that turnaround. I still think there's room to get to about like 42 from here looks like the big level. So if it can hold on to VWAP here, I still think you got a bit of a shot on a Funware. Tesla, wow.
Yeah, it's just really taking there.
This is the one that is, this will be surprising to me because I really thought this was the day Tesla was going to go. The long looked really good early. Now it's just like everything else.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is
Unbelievable.
This is not good. I didn't even realize it. I still had my bid sitting there for Tesla. So yeah, yay me. All right, let's wait to see if we could do something then on Tesla. Alibaba's trying to go back up, so that's nice. We'll let that one settle if it wants to settle. Hopefully it does at some point, and we'll settle down here for Tesla. But yeah, man, I had a bid there. I'm trying to get some out if it comes back up. That was not a purposeful bid. I was talking about not taking it, and then again, I did have some orders sitting there, which was my bad on Tesla. So yuck for me on that one. Apple's starting to go now. Okay, well, yeah, not good, not good. So Apple going down.
Apple is now failing.
Okay, Alibaba's winning, so I got to get some out of that. So now that you mentioned that, Alibaba again, the Apple of China.
Not really.
I'm just saying that so that it can go up because I'm long. But no, Alibaba not the Apple of China. But it's starting to go. So we're going to get a little bit out here on what is a little bit of strength in Alibaba as opposed to. It's funny because now the market goes the other way and Alibaba's going the other way again. So all right, so we're going against the grain here. I'm going to give Tesla to two. So this is the story. It's a keystroke error because I didn't realize I had to bid there. But regardless, I'm not just averaging it. I am averaging into it because it's coming into 208. This is just the better level. It looks like we'll just have to take a little bit of a hit on the resting order that we had at 210 if we do break below that 208. But this is a level that I had thought had a chance even on the daily, had a chance to hold. So we've written this down a couple times. Let's see if we can get it going again here on Tesla as we'll average it in. We'll watch out for a slip up down near 208, guys. That's about all that I have for that. And still a downside move on a firm, but we'll have to wait. Alibaba, again, nice move back up. We'll wait to see. Maybe Alibaba is the one here for us.
Yeah, that Apple move was redonkulous.
Oh, that's
down
right.
in VWAP. So Look, I'm going to get to Funware in a second because I still think that's not dead. DWAC's going back up to the highs, but Apple just pulled. Look at the candle. Look at the back end of that trade. It'll be frustrating, and obviously you scalp some out because it's a different trade there than when it fails at the second time. But I
Wow,
don't want
it's
to.
still
I'm not
going.
standing in. I'm not standing in front of that freight train. I just reloaded something that was working. So if the market's going down and you're gonna give me a short to pop that's already working, there's your trend on Micron. So I added to that.
What am I doing?
In front of 88.50, bid already at the low of the day. But the way this is going, I just feel like you want to hold on to your shorts. Fisker's more of a gimmick off the $1 level. Could just be that the long should be in like a Funware type thing instead of trying to find something that's going to be a falling knife in the overall market. If it's following the market, I don't want to be fighting the shorts. The long's still looking decent in Funware, especially if it can hold this 33, 34 area. DWAC is also holding its breakout price.
DWAC.
So as long as DWAC holds on to the highs and stair steps up, I think Funware is going to have a chance. But that's where the longs look. If you're going to try to make a bottom, I want to see a defined support level. Like, you tell me. Like, is AMD look like it's at a bottom just yet? I was thinking maybe a little bit tighter to 162, 163. It's getting there. I don't know if I want to believe in it just yet.
Yeah, I don't think you're wrong with that analysis at all. We are definitely right with this one. Hopefully you guys spun this one, man. We talked about Disney today on the sticky note. It's been quite a fun day trading. Like, my net is like a freaking roller coaster here today. And we took an L. Small L. We're out of 20% right now of Tesla. We bought the 209s. Our average price was, well, now it's 209.67. It was 209.80. So we just got a piece out at 50s there. So far so good. Not so far so good, but so far so good on the bounce there for Tesla. We would have preferred to have not gotten this fill. That's my bad. Just like here, I have resting orders on Palantir. Thank God they're a lot lower than where they are right now. Here we go. Yes, all of a sudden it's a money-making trade right now, and this is what I mean by Tesla. It's not. It just hit 210. We got a piece out. Wow. Okay, man, this is what I mean. This has been a wild ride. Needless to say, as there goes Alibaba trying to get above 68 again. Come on, Tesla, you can do it right now. That would be nice if it does. Back above 210 would be good for this guy. All right, we haven't talked at all, really, about Mara or Coinbase or anything like that. We already did the crypto moment. We'll do that when we get back.
Early.
We did a little bit. Yeah, no, we did, but Coin's actually ripping. We'll talk about that when we get back. So let's go over to Adara with Money Talks.
DXY pretty flat on the day here, just kind of bouncing around that slightly above and below that 103.25 area. Right now we're slightly negative. We were just slightly positive. So the USD pretty flat right now, pretty neutral. Also worth noting here, we do have some economic news coming later this week to keep an eye on, including the quarter-over-quarter GDP coming on Thursday and PCE data coming on Friday. So those definitely of note. Right now, not too much to report with regards to the USD, guys.
Okay.
Appreciate it. And speaking of, we were just mentioning Coinbase there. Coin holding VWAP up 3%.
Yeah.
Bitcoin made a bit of a bounce, as mentioned in the crypto segment. As we only have 9 minutes to go till we get to the midday, it's been a wild morning. The market is holding green, I mean, ever so barely. The NASDAQ just wicked the bottoms. So you might have just made a last-ditch effort to hold some of these bids. So if the market can bounce from here, I think there could be some scalp longs. I would look for some strong names. Like Coinbase, I mean, believe it or not, Coinbase actually looks pretty solid here off of 127.5. And the other thing which could hold is, I mean, Apple did so much heavy lifting. Remember the 194 level? I always leave these lines in the charts. Oh, can't go back far enough there. Anyways, I always leave lines of support in the charts that I like. It held once. It's now trying to hold twice. So we'll go again for scalp trading. It's a big move that Apple made to the downside, but I'm looking at this 193.70, where it had this little bit of a dip on the way to 195. It's about 25 cents worth of risk from here, but the market just wicked the lows and held green.
Yeah, well, actually, same kind of thing was I talking about this sort of a heart attack market here. You know, we're now up on Tesla, but that was just because the reload held. Like, not even the reload, sort of the price that we liked down there at the bottom wound up holding for us. So that was kind of a little bit of a lucky, I don't want to say lucky moment, but we were looking at that 208. We're just, I feel like unlucky that I sat there like, kind of talked about not wanting Tesla at 210, and then I had a bid at 210.25. So that was, again, you know, we'll all make mistakes, and that was definitely one for me there that I wish I hadn't done, but we did it, and we had to sort of wait for this to come back up. So that's a little bit of a problem there for me, but we'll wait, as now it's above, and we now are in the money 70 cents, and it's a positive trade for us. So far so good on that one, man. And then Disney went exactly where we had hoped it would. 94 was sort of our target price, so we just got a bunch more out here at 93.90. We got loaded up there, man. That's why we have a bunch of outs. We have good outs at VWAP and then good outs at the 50 period. Not great outs here, but again, that was the bottom, and I got a little excited because the market, as they say, was falling at that time, which is why you get the longs. Part of this is what's changed for me about becoming the trader that I'm trying to become is that sometimes when stocks fall into your price, I often will panic and be like, oh my God, like I need to get out now, but it's at that price because that's the price that, you were waiting for. And if it comes into that level, then sometimes it's worth the shot there no matter what the market's doing. So you got to be kind of careful of that. Like Disney fell in there into a bid that we are looking at to hold 93. So why panic? Let it do the work, and it is working out right now for us. So Disney, nice little move to the upside, and the same thing with the firm. Like let it go down. Stop scalping it out all the time, right? And so I did that. It seemed to be a little bit of a mistake there, but we're rocking now. So all good here on a firm, back down in, and it's been quite a roller coaster day, Neil. I know for your account as well as me and you go, we're in the money on Tesla. We're out of the money on Tesla.
It was looking so easy.
Like Apple was so great.
In the first 15 minutes, well, 20, maybe a half an hour. But when stocks come into levels, with only 5 minutes to go here, speaking of levels, like Rivian is already back at $16. Like we're like at the open, we're like, oh, we missed Rivian breaking out of this resistance level. Well, if you like that price, guess what you can do right now? You can go long off 16. Now, this resistance here is closer to 1590. So I'm in Apple at 194, risking it to that 75 area, and I'm going to do a similar thing with Rivian. I understand the market is weak, but you just make the next trade.
Yeah.
If you miss a breakout trade, it's starting to dip off the 16 level. I'll go to the 3 minutes so you can see a bit better. There was no green candles on that 15 minute, but you bounced off the 16 level. Ooh. You've got some support at 1590, so I want to work into a long at that 16. And if it can hold on to 1590, great. I think you can see VWAP at the quarters. But it's a big week, not just because the market is trying to kind of do a second salvo from last week, but you got some serious earnings to talk about here.
Ooh, let's go. Wow, I like GE. I can't see what's on the other side
baby.
there. United Airlines? Okay.
Well, the airlines are volatile, no question about it. There's going to be some trades in there. But tomorrow morning, GE has been a rocket ship. The daily chart looks fantastic.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Electric.
Yeah.
And then you get a couple of, I guess they're more like bellwethers, like PG. Procter is more of a bellwether stock, not much of a trading vehicle, though. Wow.
Wait.
Okay.
What?
Apple, I'm like, okay, Apple broke.
That's what I was
25
saying.
cents
See you
was looking
later.
okay. And then the bid just evaporated. So I'm out when it broke 75. It's at 50 in an absolute heartbeat. And of course, I have one short on right now, which is Micron. One short. This market is absolutely flushing now. I don't think we're going to hold on to green. I don't think this market's going to hold on to green today. It doesn't feel like it. Apple was doing.
Oh no, it's not even that.
And now all of a sudden, you can't even find a bid on this thing.
Yeah.
That's why you have stop orders, by the way. Don't trade without stops. Because you're just going to, that's an easy, lose 2 or 3 times as much if you're trying to punch out manually on that.
Honestly, dude, better.
Let the system do the work there.
Yeah, no better advice. I think that I show you multiple examples of stop orders working out, man. For example, there's a win right there. Spin it. We're up on Tesla now, which is unbelievable, to be honest with you. Alibaba. Example of a stop order working out. You can hold AMD all day long if you want, but you got to get out when it breaks levels. It broke 168, we got out. Now you're seeing it all the way down here at 165 change. That's going to be a big move down. $1, $2 now in the money. Let's go. It's the first $2 club today for me. And that is a firm, and we just got that fill. So that's a nice one right there on a firm. A nice little bit of a victory dance there on AFRM, now in the money, $2. Need to get more on that. BABA as well. We talked about it. Disney, we got some out at 94. That was pretty key. I think Tesla could be the key here. This could go. Like, let's wait. It's been beat down, but as Neil just mentioned, with Apple falling here, like, why is Tesla remaining where it is? Apple actually fell in nicely right there. 193 might be a bid. It just bounced off there pretty strong, man. 193.25. You might have just had an opportunity to buy some Apple down there.
Yeah, and speaking of like opportunity to buy, I don't want to get away from this. I know a lot of people looking at Funware. I want to jump back over to it. It's still, even after that big flush down to 33, it's still putting in some higher lows. So the trend very much still working on Funware. And the other thing, I want to look at this 33 bid and see if I can't get some. The other thing that's happening is DWAC is trying to make a higher low as well. So it's holding 32, it's holding higher lows. I never want to be against the grain. If I'm looking for long in Funware, then DWAC has to be setting up for one as well. I can use that as my, like, I suppose my future is for these kind of names, for lack of a better term. Do not want to be going against that general direction. I'm in Rivian, talked about that off the $16 level. Micron's still holding into the downside. And Funware, the volume's not nearly what it was, but it's still plenty good enough, almost the 300 million mark. So I want to look for the long here at the half, risk about just a bit more than half a cent off this 33 level.
So all the sticky note names today, we had PayPal long, that's a positive name for us. We had, well, we have Tesla long, that's a positive name for us. We had Disney long. This is my number one name today is Disney. So guys, if you want to go check it out at Trader TV Sean, make your way over there. We also had a kick-ass podcast this week, our best one yet. Go make sure you can find that out. Thank you, Sharif, for that right there. But here's the sticky note right there. Disney, Tesla, Palantir, PayPal. Go find it. Those are the things that I like. And here's Brendo tweeting out some good discussions that we had about Tesla and Netflix there on the chat, on the pod. And it's a lot different, man. The podcast is just, we're sitting at the desk, just kind of chilling out. And I'm very, very excited about what's to come for this. So go have a double look there. Brendan looking spiffy with the vest. And we also had some fun stuff talking about it there. If there's any clothing companies out there that want to sponsor us, we need to look sharp. So do that. Okay, Tesla still bouncing around. It's 11. Oh, shoot.
It is 11 o'clock.
Thank you so much for the skip right there. Thank you so much for watching it. He or she was all about the podcast. So there it is. Okay, AMD apparently beautiful. I don't know, man. We'll wait to see where all these stocks wind up for the rest of the day.
It is definitely, look, I mean, the beauty of this market is there's always another trade to be had. Like, you can flip into the short when it moves to the downside. You can find a mover like Fun and DWAC. If you need to find something long, there's always something out there for you. So you're going to learn a little bit of something in the midday. I'll pop on at noon, as always, to give you the real deal. But let's pop on over. We got Adara. We got the Professor. Learn about some candlestick patterns. Those are interesting.
Yeah, some real deals.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as the Midday Show. That is your girl, Adara. I'm Sharif, and as per usual, we're going to wait for everyone to migrate on